Red Hounds versus the Pioneers of Simon Kenton.
Yeah, I just want to say hello again high top the T107 Red Hound radio booth. Hounds coming off that bye week and rested, ready to go tonight. And most importantly, 5-0, undefeated on the season. So, next week kind of gets into district play, playoff positioning. So, look for a great performance tonight out of the Hounds. All three phases, offense, defense, special teams. So just can't wait to get this football game started tonight right here at the friendly confines, Campbell Field.
There you have it, 13 minutes till we kick this one off here at Campbell Field. Colors are on the field. We're going to cut away for the playing of the national anthem. Again, Corbin, Simon Kenton, 12 and a half minutes till we kick it off here at home. You're listening to Red Hound Football on T107.
Summer is here, and the deal on the iPhone 12 mini just got even hotter at Appalachian Wireless. The iPhone 12 mini comes with massive features and is the perfect pocket size. Best of all, Appalachian Wireless is offering the iPhone 12 mini for just $1 with a 2-year contract. Good things do come in small packages, and it's the iPhone 12 mini on the region's best network. But don't wait. This deal won't last long. We are you. We are Appalachian Wireless.
What's up, y'all? This is Chase Rice hanging outdoors with an ice-cold Mountain Dew. You know, it's easy to tell who really loves the outdoors. For one thing, there's a rack on your car and a hitch on the back of your truck. There's a garage full of toys from wakeboards to dirt bikes. And there's a cooler full of Mountain Dew, always at the ready. Because when it's time to get out and do, hit the lake or the deer stand, a cooler of Mountain Dew, that's as important a piece of outdoor gear as your four-wheeler or your fishing rod. Mountain Dew. Do the do.
What's your favorite thing about football time in Corbin? The hometown pride, the sound of the cannon that echoes through downtown Corbin with every point scored? Or is it the tradition of taking your family to Mi Casa before the game? In Corbin, it's all about tradition, and that's what you can count on at Mi Casa Mexican Restaurant. A family-friendly, delicious meal with every visit. Stop in and enjoy their patio and weekly specials. Good luck and go Hounds from Mi Casa of Corbin.
Hometown Bank is proud of their name because Hometown Bank is proud of the hometowns they're in. In fact, their name is their mission, which is to take care of the communities in which they work and live. Hometown Bank is always here to help, so if you're buying a house, remodeling your kitchen, or need a home equity loan to combine other debt, come see Hometown Bank and find out how easy working with a Hometown Bank can be. Visit the Hometown Bank nearest you. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Anthem's done. We'll take it away whenever. Thank you.
Okay. Harry Jackson at 60.
Welcome back to T107. Right here, Campbell Field. Hounds back at home playing host to the Simon Kenton Pioneers. I'm Ronnie Bowling with Jeff Barnett and Jenny Barnett in the T107 broadcast booth. And JB, looking right ahead of the schedule, the Hounds have gone through their first 5 games undefeated. They played some very good schools, played the Christ School out of North Carolina, the defending state champs in the Class 2A in North Carolina, trounced them pretty easily, shut out Whitley County, beat at the time #1 Franklin County in Class 4A, and trounced Pulaski County in Somerset. The Hounds have been rolling through this schedule, and then they take on a team tonight, 1-5 on the football season, no wins over any teams in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, but have played a very difficult schedule. They're probably the biggest school that the Hounds have played so far on the season. So a lot of interesting things. Hard to gauge this team on paper on what they bring to the table.
Yeah, exactly. And, when you look to the Pioneers, from Simon Kenton, you look at those, you look at the schedule. It's been a tough schedule, a tough road to hoe as well. But then you turn around, you look at the Hounds. The Hounds had the bye week. They had the kind of the week to kind of reflect and, see what they need to work on. So when you look at the three phases, offense, defense, special teams, Hounds, they can run the football, they can stretch the football, they can throw, all the weapons on the fields. Then you look at the defensive line playing great. You got the front four, just kind of controlling the line of scrimmage. So, and then you bring in the weapon, Jacob Baker, one of the best kickers, if not the best kicker, I should correct myself, in the state of Kentucky. So, Hounds, in all three phases, just doing a great job. So you're right, Ronnie, going to be kind of an interesting game, versus, you look at the Pioneers, 1-4, 1-5 right there. The schedule's kind of tricks you a little bit. So I expect a really competitive game. And with that bye week, I look for the Hounds to try to come in to Campbell Field and start fast.
Offensively, Hounds have been really impressive, lighting up the scoreboard in just about every contest they've played. More importantly, defensively is where they've shined on the stat sheet, surrendering around 8 points a game right now. I think is off the top of my head the metric where they're at. 40 points surrendered in 5 games, 21 of those in the opening game against the Christ School. Since then, a couple shutouts and a couple one-touchdown performances. This defense really the backbone of this football team.
Yes, they are. And, another stat I look at right there, the Hounds in their 5-0 record have forced 14 turnovers this season so far. 9 interceptions, 5 fumbles. So, the Hounds flying around, they're just ball hawks. So, you talk about how the Hounds defense has kind of led the way, shutting down the offense. We've seen a lot of tough teams, like you mentioned, Christ School, the state champs out of North Carolina. But Hounds have come in there, played great defense, and, that's kind of Coach Greer's, that's kind of his moniker, if you say. He's going to always start with defense first, and the Hounds have done a great job on defense this season so far.
Definitely going to be put to the test tonight against a quarterback, dual threat in nature, Chase Crone. 62, 109, 1,000 yards passing, 11 TDs on the season. That's over 200 yards a game passing. In a high school level, that is a lot of yards passing through the air at a time.
Exactly. Unreal. You look at Chase Crone, kind of a one-man gang, throwing 56% completions. Like you mentioned before, 62 completions, 109 attempts, 11 touchdowns through the air. But then you look at the ground game. He can run the ball as well, has 8 touchdowns on the ground. So 19 combined touchdowns on the season so far for Chase Crone. So, if you're Coach Greer, like we talked about the defense, you look to stop Chase Crone, the quarterback for Simon Kenton, right out of the gate.
Not a stranger to taking on dual-threat quarterbacks. This team has seen its share of it. Of course, if you play in the modern era of football, that's what you're going to see. Dual-threat quarterbacks like to run the ball. Simon Kenton has not had a tough time scoring the football. It's stopping other teams has kind of been their Achilles tendon. They've given up 1,100 yards on the ground. They've given almost 2,000 up through the air. So that's definitely staring down the barrel of this offensive unit. Got a lot of Division I talent on it. Tough task for the Pioneers tonight.
Yeah, it's a tough task. And, you look at the Hounds. We've talked about the Hounds defense so far. So if you're the Hounds offense right here, you want to control time of possession. You want to keep the offense of Simon Kenton off the field. They're a fast-paced offense, put a lot of points on the board. And like I said, it all starts with the quarterback, Chase Crone, number 11 for Simon Kenton. So dial in on the quarterback, Red Hounds D, and then control the time of possession with the Hounds offense.
Also looking at the stat sheet, this is not a team that spreads the football around a whole lot. Chase Williams, 29 catches. That's 22 more than the second leading receiver on this football team, 488 through the air and 5 touchdowns. So definitely, Hound's going to have to know where he's at all times in the passing game. And you hem those things up, and it looks like, Corbin could pursue that 6-0 start they're looking for.
Yeah, and you want to be perfect on the season. You want to just keep building, getting better every week. We know, the Hounds roll into district play next week against Knox Central. So you're right, Ronnie. It all starts with the quarterback, like I said, Chase Crone. You get him shut down. You get that, you get the receiver. Looks like Chase Williams, 29 catches, 500 yards, 5 touchdowns. Get him dialed in a little bit. And then, you turn it over to the Hounds offense to move the football and put points on the board.
4 minutes till we kick it off right now. Both teams have taken the field at midfield for the coin toss. We'll get the results of that. Keys to victory and starting lineups when we come back. 4 minutes. Corbin, Simon Kenton here at Campbell Field. We'll be back in 2 minutes. You're listening to Red Hound Football on T107.
When you've been in business since 1954, you have to be doing something right. At Owens Auto Repair, they believe in honesty, service, and that hard work can still get you somewhere. Owens offers a complete line of truck and auto parts, as well as their custom-made hydraulic hoses, weather guard toolboxes, utility beds, and Sherwin-Williams auto paint. They also offer auto repair for cars, trucks, and RVs, and of course have top name brand tires. And they do towing and recovery. Owens Auto Repair, located just down from Corbin High School on Cumberland Falls Highway.
Our world has dramatically changed over the past couple of years. We've all had to adjust to these changing times. But one thing has not changed is the fact that the Hart family and Tri-County Cycle Sales is still serving southeastern Kentucky with the same quality products and service after the sale since 1968. Honda, Yamaha, Kawasaki, and Polaris are the biggest names in off-road adventure and still can be found at Tri-County Cycle Sales. For your next ATV or side-by-side, stop by the place where time has stood still. Tri-County Cycle Sales, located between Corbin and London on US 25 across from Kentucky Outdoorsman.
Hard to believe.
That's awful.
I
But,
know.
you'll have to watch them now. They'll be playing on fire
Yeah.
the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we would like to have a moment of silence. Red Hound fans and visitors, please stand and also remove your caps as we will have a moment of silence for Coach Jim Matney of Johnson Central High School.
Yeah.
Coach Matney passed away earlier this week after suffering from the COVID virus. Coach Jim Matney is a legend here in the mountains of eastern Kentucky, and his pride and passion for the student athletes and his community prove that his legacy will live on for centuries. Our thoughts and prayers from the Red Hound Nation to the family and community, and may God rest his soul. Please, a moment of silence. Thank you.
Under a minute till we kick off here. Corbin at home hosting the Simon Kenton Pioneers. Before we kick it off here, JB, give the keys to victory tonight for the Red Hounds to move on to 6-0.
All right, JB, keys to the game. Number one, contain and slow down quarterback Chase Crone. The one-man gang's thrown 11 TDs, like we said earlier, ran for 8 TDs, so defense has to lock down on the quarterback for the Pioneers. Number two, start fast. Hounds, of course, had the bye week last week, so you want to come out laser-focused, ready to go tonight. And then number three, offense, let the Hounds QB Cam Combs continue to be kind of that point guard on offense, spread the ball all around to the Hounds' weapons, keep the Pioneers guessing on defense. And then number four, 3 phases, offense, defense, special teams. Offense, lean on the offensive line. Defense, lean on the defensive line. And then in special teams, of course, you got Jacob Baker, the weapon, the best kicker in the state of Kentucky, and that should equal a Hounds win tonight.
There you have it, keys to victory. As the teams are on the field, Simon Kenton won the coin toss. They've deferred till the second half, so Corbin has elected to receive the football. Ball is teed up on the right hash. Kicker on, looks like, from here, it looks like Jaden Lawson. Can't tell the number, no. Andrew Petty, place kicker for the Pioneers. Back deep to receive for the Red Hounds. Seth Mills and Travion Longmire both standing around their own 5-yard line.
Yeah, exactly. Be interesting to see who Simon Kenton, the Pioneers, want to kick to. Do you kick to Travion, the speedster, headed for UK next season? We're going to find out right here.
He'll approach and put the toe to it. It's a low line drive kick, dribbles on the ground, finally fielded at the 30-yard line, up to the 35, finally ran down by a pack of Pioneers. Right around the 40-yard line, electing neither as the option to kick to, putting it on the dirt. And you see a lot of teams do that against this Red Hound unit.
Yeah, you do. You know, you was wondering right there, do they kick to Travion? You know, do they kick it deep? Do they kick it short? And so the Pioneers being smart right there, kicking it short. And, you know, the Hounds set up right here on their own 40-yard line with great field position to start their first offensive series right here.
Opening up offensive line, Franklin West, Eli Bolton, Tucker Burns, Hunter Heath, and Ethan Goforth. Up front for the Red Hound offensive unit, Combs is going to open up at quarterback. Empty backfield, 2 wings and 3 wide receivers split across the field. Trips to his right. operating out of the shotgun. Going to be a quarterback draw up the gut. Lots of running
There he
room at the
goes.
50. Shakes a tackle, finally wrestled down from behind in Pioneer territory right around the 44-yard line. Gain of about 16 on the opening carry to get this Red Hound unit moving.
A really good run right there. Cam Combs, good to see. You know, he had the injury 2 or 3 weeks ago and now kind of cranking it up a little bit. And, you know, you start off the football game with a Cam Combs run right off the right tackle. You know, things are looking good right there for Cam Combs.
Back in the shotgun, full house backfield, running back flanking him on either side. It's going to be Huff and Mills. Combs remains in the shotgun, back to pass. Sets the throw, climbs the pocket. Now he's going to keep it himself across the 40. At the 30, safely steps out of bound. Right at the Pioneer 28-yard line, pickup of 12. That's enough for another Red Hound first down.
Yeah, exactly. Hounds moving the ball fast down the field. You saw Cam Combs get great protection from that offensive line that you mentioned right there, Ronnie, and then, you know, just didn't see a receiver open downfield, had the little check down to Seth Huff, pulls it down, runs down the field, gets out of bounds for another Hounds first down.
1st and 10 remains in the shotgun, trips to his right. It's got Curry, Stewart, and Newberry split to his right, Longmire to his left. Seth Mills, his running back, moves over to the right side, closer to the trips, the wide side of the field, sets the throw, fires, got Stewart in the flat, puts a juke on at the 30, but he will be tackled from behind right around the 24-yard line. Picks up about 4 or 5 on the screen reception, 2nd and 6 for Corbin.
Yeah, just, you know, again, we talked about it, J.B. Keys, you know, Cam Combs being the point guard. You know, if it's not there, he can run behind the big offensive line. Then he sits out there, throws a little screen out to the right to Stewart. So just kind of moving the football all around. And then, you know, here in a minute, you're going to see Seth Mills, Seth Huff in the running game.
Comes in the shotgun, going to give straight ahead to Mills. He's going to churn through that line of scrimmage. Finally brought to rest, about a yard shy of the first down marker. Depending on the spot, he'll be close to first down yardage. Pick up about 5 or 6 on the carry. Now they're going to signal first down.
Yeah, first down again. And right there, you know, we've seen so far 3 or 4 plays right here on offense. Hounds just throwing the ball all around the lot. And, you know, you look at Seth Mills right there, you know, the Hounds leading rusher, 585 yards, 8 touchdowns running the football. So, again, you know, just, again, though, the key to me, Ron, is that big offensive line, you know, for the Hounds just leading the way.
Have been the deciding factor in just about every football game. 1st and 10 at the Pioneer 17-yard line. Combs fakes the handoff, now rolls to his left, fires to the check down in the flat. Going to be hauled in and caught at the 10. Tripped from behind close to the 5-yard line. That was Newberry on the reception. That should be enough for another Red Hound first down.
Yeah.
Gain of about, looks like 10 or 11 on the screen reception.
Yeah, really good job. You know, when you think about it, you've seen Carter Stewart touch the football. You've seen Seth Mills touch the football. You know, you've seen Newberry there. You've seen Seth Mills. Just speaks to the weapons that the Hounds have on the offensive side. And, you know, like Coach Greer always says, it always starts up front, again, with that big offensive line.
Not dressed tonight, Dakota Patterson. Haven't seen him in action yet. Maybe resting an injury. Combs in the shotgun, 5 wide receivers down on the goal line, brings a player in motion. He'll hand off on the jet sweep. That's Mills angling towards the goal line, lowers the shoulder. They're going to mark him just shy of the end zone despite trucking the defender down at the 1-yard line. Picks up about 3 yards. Sets up 2nd and goal.
Yeah, and a great sight to see right there. You know, Seth Mills, he's kind of that slasher type runner, but right there, you know, he has a nose for the goal line, and you know, a lot of times he likes to make a lot of people miss. But Seth Mills, like you said, lowering the shoulder, trying to get into that end zone. So great job again by the Hounds, and you know, the Hounds offense just moving the football, play after play right here, getting ready to put some points on the board.
2nd goal at the Pioneer 1. Hounds remain in the shotgun. Going to hand off straight ahead to Huff. He'll barrel in between the tackles, marching it in there. Looks like he's in there for the 6. No indication yet. And it's a touchdown. Hounds strike first. Seth Huff from 2 yards out.
Yeah, you know, you hate to say it right there. You know, the Hounds set up on their own 40-yard line, got 60 yards to go for a touchdown. And, you know, just play after play right there. And, you know, you finish with knocking the door down with running back Seth Huff. And that's what he does. He likes to run the football. He likes to get touchdowns. Already, this is number 5, his 5th touchdown on the season. But, you know, the Hounds making it look easy right here early in this football game in this first quarter.
Baker on to add the extra point. Snap is down. Kick is up and away. It's deflected at the line of scrimmage. It's still good. 8:42 remaining in the first quarter. Hounds on top, 7-0. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Red Hound Football on T107.
The magical season of fall is here with cooler temperatures and shorter days, and that means two things: hunting season and it's football time in the Bluegrass. So before you plan your next hunting or fishing trip, stop by Southeastern Kentucky's #1 hunting and fishing headquarters, Kentucky Outdoorsman. It's national buying power with the same family-owned small-town customer service to which you've become accustomed. Get equipped for your next outdoor adventure at Kentucky Outdoorsman, located on U.S. Highway 25 between Corbin and London, next to Tri-County Cycle Sales.
That's right. 8:42 remaining in the first quarter of play. Hounds strike first with a Seth Huff 2-yard touchdown run. They lead the Simon Kenton Pioneers 7-0 here at Campbell Field. I'm Ronnie Bowling with Jeff Barnett and Jenny Barnett in the T107 broadcast booth. Baker on to kick it away for the Hounds, and JB, Hounds offense humming early in this contest.
Yeah, exactly. You know, with the bye week, you wonder how the Hounds are going to respond, you know, if they're going to have a little lull, but my goodness, just gas pedal down, touchdown Hounds.
Baker puts the toe to it. It's a high end-over-end kick. Going to go through almost through the upright out of the back of the end zone. Touchback for Baker. I don't know how many that is on the season, but, again, one of the most coveted kickers in the United States,
yes,
showing that leg off again.
Yes, no doubt right there. And, you know, what a weapon. You know, we always talk about offense. We always talk about defense. But since Jacob Baker has showed up on the scene, you got to talk about special teams. So, again, you know, who knows how many touchbacks. It's just, you know, it's just expected right there. So, great job by Jacob Baker getting the touchback and, you know, kind of pinning the Pioneers deep right here. And then we turn things over to the Red Hounds defense.
Baker, again, resting an elbow injury. He'll be kicking only. Mills in at safety. Pioneers operating out of the shotgun. Fakes the read option, now pulls it himself. Staggers forward to about the 26-yard line. Gain of about 6 there on the read option. Really did a good job there selling that fake, did the quarterback.
Yeah, I think so. Really good fake off the right side, and then the quarterback kind of keeps it around the left side, doing a good job. And then, you know, the Pioneers moving fast right here.
Chase Crone out of the shotgun, fouls the stop route, almost intercepted, got a paw on it out in the flats. That'd been Brandon Baker. I think that had been his 4th interception on the season.
Yeah, exactly. You know, again, we talked about it, the Hounds defense, ball hawks, 14 turnovers so far this season in just 5 football games.
It's ridiculous.
So almost averaging 3 turnovers a game. So defense really, you know, ball hawks on defense. That's
5 wide on 3rd down. Crone out of the shotgun, under pressure, gets the ball out, going to be deflected. Brody Wells in coverage. Crone just had to get rid of that one. He had a defender bearing down on him. He was going to eat the dirt if he didn't get rid of the football.
Yeah, I tell you what, Braden Reynolds putting the pressure right there on quarterback Chase Crone. And you're right, Ronnie. You know, he's dropping back there and firing the football, which, you know, brings up a 4th down right here. And, again, Simon Kenton, the Pioneers, you know, 3 and out. That's what you want on defense. Going to have to punt the football away.
Another head scratcher while you abandon the run there.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Nonetheless, Pioneers going to kick it away. Full punt formation. Mills standing on his own 45. Clean snap. Gets the kick away. It is a high end-over-end kick. Fair catch signaled for, hauled in and caught at the Corbin 43-yard line. So Red Hounds will take over again. Excellent field position right around their own 43-yard line. 8:08 remaining in the first quarter. They lead 7-0.
Yeah, exactly. Hounds winning the field position game. You know, we saw the Hounds take over that first drive on their own 40. Now they're right at the 44-yard line as well. So, you know, Simon Kenton runs that 3 and out offense, and you're right. You know, the Pioneers kind of abandon the running game and, you know, just kind of almost content to punt the football. So, again, Hounds offense on the attack right here.
1st and 10 at the Corbin 44-yard line. Combs in the shotgun. Got a running back flanking him on either side. Twins to his right, one to his left. Handoff goes to Huff across the left side. He's at the 50 with a big hole at the 40. Puts the Jets on at the 30. Picks up one more block. He's going to walk it into the end zone. The power back taking it in from 56 yards away on the touchdown run. 2nd of his touchdown run on the night for Huff.
Exactly. You know, Seth Huff, nothing tricky right there. You know, Cam Combs, the quarterback, sitting in the gun. You know, Seth Huff just takes a handoff around the left side and then does the rest. Puts on the Jets, makes the touchdown, and puts on the gas. And, you know, Seth Huff, just a great running back. You know, coming into his senior year right here, doing a great job, putting up points for the Hounds in towards the post office.
Baker on to kick it away, up and good. 7:58 remaining in the first quarter. Hounds lead 14-0. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Red Hound Football on T107.
Would you rather eat in the car or eat at the dinner table at home?
Rather eat in the car.
You can turn on some tunes, dancing, eating. You know how weird we'd look if we did this at the kitchen table?
Sonic Wacky Pack.
Right now, we just having a good time.
Hi, welcome to Sonic. May I take your order?
2 Sonic grilled cheeseburgers.
I'm on it.
Order up.
Sonic grilled cheeseburger ready for pickup.
$7:58 remaining in the first quarter. Hounds lead 14-0 over the visiting Simon Kenton Pioneers. I'm Ronnie Bowling with Jeff Barnett and Jenny Barnett in the T107 broadcast booth. Seth Huff, pair of touchdowns on the night. Took his second one in from 56 yards out to have the Hounds lead 14-0. Baker on to kick it away, puts the toe to it. It's a low line drive kick, but it's got the distance. Sails out of the back of the end zone for the touchback.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like Jacob Baker, like you mentioned, he's just going to be doing his kicking duties tonight. He almost like gets stronger, as the season goes on. I mean, the ball's going a little deeper right there, almost in the hedges in the end zone right there. So, again, it's just almost expected. Jacob Baker, we could talk about him all night, just doing a great job kicking the football and special teams for the Hounds.
Baker, of course, got a 51-yarder on the season, barely missed from 58 last time we were here at Campbell Field. 1st and 10 for the Pioneers. Crone in the shotgun with trips to his right. Handoff going to the right side. That's Lawson trying to find some running room. Not going to find it. He's going to be tattooed to the ground. I think that was Joe Brown from behind. That was painful.
Yeah, that was ugly right there. Joe Brown coming from his right defensive end spot to make the hit. And then, you look at that front four. You got Carter Sevier, Joe Brown, who just made that big hit, number 56, Troy Faulkner, and then number 41, Braden Reynolds.
No huddle back on the field, rolling out to his right. Fires, trying to find a receiver on the comeback, incomplete. Blanketed coverage again. Looks like pour out in coverage for the Hounds. This Pioneer group, they love to move fast.
Exactly, and I was looking down at the defensive line and look up, and, man, the play's coming. So you're right. Pioneers moving fast right here.
Back on it, 3rd and long. 5 wide receivers for Crone. He's in the shotgun, trips to his left. Sits in the pocket to throw, under pressure, having to roll to his right. Now looking for a receiver, flag down on the play. Going to get leveled out of bounds. Mikey Neal sent him into the fence.
Wow. I tell you, Mikey Neal coming up from his Mike linebacker spot. And I know we say it week after week. Of course, the Hounds tackling leader, Mikey Neal, the tackling leader, 42 tackles on the season, doing a great job. The freshman, kind of man in the middle for the Hounds defense.
Flags down in the offensive backfield. Wait for the preliminary indication from the white hat. Usually that's a hold against the offensive line, but we'll see. That's the call.
Exactly.
Going to be declined. Brings up 4th down for the Pioneers. I mean, the offense that runs fast is all fine and well, but if you're not moving the sticks, it's a recipe to give the football back.
Exactly. You just give the other team a little bit more time to work with the football. But you're right. 3 and out real quick. Haven't even picked up a 1st down, and already the Pioneers punting away again right here in this first quarter. 7:22 left. Hounds up 14-0.
It's 2 possessions with a minute and a half time of possession. Pioneers field the snap, puts the toe to it. It's a low end-over-end kick, going to land at the 50 and take a Pioneer bounce. Going to be killed at the Red Hound 33-yard line. Decent kick there for the Pioneers on the bounce. Red Hounds will take over 1st and 10 on their own 33-yard line.
Yeah, really good, again, position for the Hounds offense. We've seen the Hounds take over from their own 40, their own 44. Now, a little bit of difference right around the 34-yard line. So, you talk about owning the, when the offense-defense can kind of flip the field, where the Hounds have done a great job, owning field position right here, and the offense looks to take over.
Combs operates out of the shotgun on 1st and 10. Twin wide receiver split out each side. Huff joins him in the backfield, flank to his left. Sets to throw. Loads up and fires the long ball, trying to find Longmire, hauled in and caught at the 30, the 20. He's going to walk it into the end zone for the touchdown.
Wow, I tell you. Right there in that ace formation, two to each side. Travion Longmire just puts on the Jets down the left sideline towards the post office, and Cam Combs just throws it up, and Travion goes and gets the football. So great job. Hounds starting fast out of that bye week. 20-0 right here early in this first quarter.
Wow, they tabulate that took 6 seconds.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
2 long touchdown strikes from this Red Hound offense. The O is humming this evening. Baker on to add the extra point. Snap is down. Kick is up and away. It's good. 7:03 remaining in the first quarter. Hounds have got 3 touchdown lead. They're up 21-0. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Red Hound Football on T107.
Dreaming about enjoying time on the lake but need a boat? Or planning a road trip but not sure which RV is right for you and your family? Wildcat RV and Marine can help. With our selection of Keystone and Crossroads RVs and Mercury Low boats, we can get you in the great outdoors. We're a family-owned RV and Marine dealer with professionally trained sales and service departments. Our staff is committed to helping you find the perfect RV or boat and keep it on the road or in the water. Wildcat RV and Marine, just off I-75 in Corbin, or online at wildcatrvandmarine.com.
21-0 here at Campbell Field. I'm Ronnie Bowling with Jeff Barnett and Jenny Barnett in the T107 broadcast booth. And wow, the Hounds, these two teams have not had the football a whole lot. You know, only 5 minutes of the game have elapsed. Just one team making the most of their chances with the pigskin.
Exactly. All systems go for the Hounds offense so far tonight.
Baker to kick it away. You already know where this one's going. It's going to land in the post office parking lot.
That's right.
Touchback.
Yeah, another touchback, no big deal right there. You know, Jacob Baker, you think he might miss one every now and then, but it's just automatic. So, I mean, we've talked about the weapon that Jacob Baker is on the punts, on the field goals, on the extra points. But I tell you what, just definitely, no doubt about it, the best kicker in the state of Kentucky.
7:03 left in the first quarter. Fast action here tonight. Hounds are up 21-0. Scored a couple times from the south of the 50. Pioneers open up in the pistol formation. Crone, Red Hounds showing blitz, and they bring it. Handoff up the middle. Going to be stuffed there. Actually bounces out, breaks a couple tackles, lowers the shoulder. Going to pick up actually about 7 yards on the carry on the second effort there.
Yeah, I think Carter Sevier, defensive end for the Hounds, kind of gets number 27, Jaden Lawson, which Jaden Lawson, the leading rusher for Simon Kenton. But again, Pioneers moving fast.
Trying to get out on the quick no-huddle play, throws the screen out to the left flat. Wells was there to bat it down to the dirt, incomplete.
Yeah, really good job, Brody Wells, coming up off the edge, on a little bit of a blitz right there, and knocks the football down. And, Simon Kenton just continuing to run the football right here really quick.
Crone up to the line, trying to do the no-huddle snap. Corbin going to take a timeout on 3rd and 4. We'll take one as well. 6:36 remaining in the first. Corbin leads 21-0. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Red Hound Football on T107.
If you're looking for a better night's sleep, Sammy's Furniture has the perfect mattress for you. Whether it's combining the support of an innerspring mattress with the comfort of memory foam with a Sealy Hybrid, or the all-night cooling of the new Tempur-Pedic Breeze, or the unparalleled design and craftsmanship of a Stearns & Foster, Sammy's Furniture is here to help you find a mattress that won't break your back or your budget. That's Sammy's Furniture and Sleep Shop, open 7 days a week. Visit our store to find your perfect mattress today.
6:36 remaining in the first quarter. Corbin leads 21-0 over the visiting Simon Kenton Pioneers. I'm Ronnie Bowling with Jeff Barnett and Jenny Barnett in the T107 broadcast booth. Hounds looking to improve to 6-0 in the season before heading into district play next week. Well on their way with this 3-touchdown lead.
Yeah, first quarter, 6:36 left to go, and Hounds up 21-0 right here in this first quarter. You're right, Ronnie. Simon Kenton really pressing the gas pedal down, running plays quick, but the Hounds defense really doing a great job.
Crone in the shotgun on 3rd and 4. Going to going to keep it himself on the read option. Brought to rest right at his own 29-yard line. Going to be short of the distance to make. Brings up 4th and about 1, and looks like Simon Kenton sitting on the punt unit.
Yeah, I think so. Right there, Carter Sevier coming up, making the hit on the quarterback, Chase Crone. But, you would think down 21-0 first quarter, they might, the Pioneers might roll the dice. But again, looking to punt this football out of there.
Pioneers on to kick it away. Chase Petty punting and kicking duties. Mills standing right on his own 45-yard line. Fields the snap, puts the toe to it. High end-over-end kick. Going to land and take a Pioneer bounce. Finally comes to rest just south of the 40-yard line, right at the Corbin 38, where Corbin will take over 1st and 10, their 4th offensive possession of the game. We've only about 6 minutes into the football game.
Yeah, exactly. 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out for the Pioneers. And, we wondered how the Hounds would respond off the bye week. And I tell you what, Hounds defense, Hounds offense, Hounds special teams have not disappointed. I tell you, this packed crowd looks across the way. Campbell Field packed right here tonight.
Combs opens up in the shotgun on his own 38-yard line. 4 wide receivers in the football game. He's got Mills in at running back. Mills will get the call up the gut, now bounce out to the left, trying to find some running room. Will not find it. Going to be tackled in the backfield for a loss. Going to lose about a yard there on the carry.
Yeah, not much right there for Seth Mills. Really the first play so far in this football game where we saw the Hounds kind of get a little bit of negative yardage. Everything so far has been positive, positive, positive. But right there, Seth Mills gets hit in the backfield for, like you said, about a yard loss on offense for the Hounds.
2nd and 11. Same formation, going to flip the wing over to the right side. Balanced formation, Combs in the shotgun. Speed option pitch out to Mills. Not a lot of running room. Now he's going to try to reverse field. Not a great idea. Not going to be a lot of running room there in the backfield as well. He'll lose some big yardage. Loses about 4 or 5 on the carry. Now Hounds staring down the barrel of 3rd and 14.
Yeah, 3rd and long right here. And a lot of times, even if it's in the first quarter, Coach Elam, the offensive coordinator for the Hounds, you up 21-0 in the first quarter. You like to kind of start to try some things, see what you can get away with. And right there again, the Pioneers of Simon Kenton shutting down the Hounds offense.
3rd and long. Combs remains in the shotgun. Twin wideouts each way. Low snap. Combs rolls to his right. Under pressure. Loads up and fire. Trying to find Stewart across the middle on the crossing route. Can't hook up. Incomplete. So Hounds going to be forced to kick it away.
Yeah, first punt of the game for the Hounds. Cam Combs rolling out to the right side. Just kind of a little bit of a misfire. Missed number 19, Carter Stewart, kind of coming across the middle right on that big red C. But, the Hounds again, using Jacob Baker punting the football away. And, we know how he can drop that pitching wedge right there around the goal line. So, right here, the best kicker in the state of Kentucky, as well as the best punter.
Yeah, also highly recruited for punting, just not done a lot of it this year. He's in punt formation on to kick it away, fields the snap clean, puts a toe to it. High end over end kick, going to be fielded clean at the 25, up to the 30 where he gets body slammed. Holy cow.
Wow.
Hound special teams unit hitting out in space tonight.
Yeah, exactly. Just, Jacob Baker gets a little air under it. And I tell you what, number 47, Joey Horvath, one of the special teams aces for the Hounds defense, comes down and, like you said, just levels the returner for Simon Kenton. So really good coverage right there by the Hounds special teams.
Big hits tonight out of this defense and special teams unit. Pioneers take over 1st and 10 on their own 34. Best field position for them of the night. Crone in the shotgun. 5 wide receivers on the field. Sets to throw. Hounds bringing pressure. Now he's been flushed out of the pocket to his right. Fires downfield. Got a receiver hauled in and caught. Can't tell if he got a toe in, and the official says he did not. Incomplete.
Yeah, again, getting a little pressure right there off that right side by Braden Reynolds out of that front 4. The Hounds rushing 4 right here, and then they'll play those 2 inside linebackers with the 2 rovers on the outside, doing a really good job. So, again, we've talked about the Hounds defense. The defense for the Hounds will hit you every single time you try to catch a football.
Crone in the pistol. Pulls the handoff. Now fires a screen out in the flat where he gets leveled. Evan Moore comes up. Lays the wood on the receiver. And again, Pioneers with this fast-hitting offense staring down the barrel of 3rd and 10. They've barely had the football, just a handful of minutes.
That's right.
Handful of seconds, excuse me.
Yeah, and it's always good, to run as many plays as you possibly can on offense.
Clock's still running. That's incorrect. Nonetheless, Pioneers on 3rd and long. Pistol set. Hounds showing blitz, and they bring it. He fires, gets the ball out, hanging high in the air. It's hauled in and caught. I think that's a completion. Yeah, all the way down to the Red Hound 44-yard line. That was a very good catch there.
Yeah, a really good job right there by number 80 for Simon Kenton, Luke Morrison, right here in front of the Red Hound T107 radio booth, making a good catch.
Up to the line quickly. Crone fakes the handoff, now keeps it himself up the gut. Pays for it, gets a knocked around pretty good, but picks up 6 yards on the read option play. Now this Pioneer offense on the move a little bit.
Yeah, on the move a little bit, and, the first time in this football game, 3:30 left in the first quarter.
He's hurting.
Hounds up 21-0, so, Simon Kenton moving a little bit right here.
Pistol formation with trips to the right. Hounds show blitz, and they bring it. Handoff up the middle. Might have got back to the original line of scrimmage. And I think there's something Corbin's doing right now. They're sending a blitz on that formation. Whether he hands it off or not, he's taking a shot, and he's already feeling it. You can tell.
Exactly. And, we saw number 23, like you said, Ronnie, coming off the edge. Brandon Baker blitzing the quarterback Crone, making the hit, even on when he didn't even have the football.
Crone rolls out to his right, under pressure, picked up. Nice block there, fires it downfield. Going to be picked off by Seth Mills. Did he get a foot in? It was a one-handed interception, and they're going to say yes. Turnover number 15 for this Red Hound defensive unit.
Unbelievable. You're right. Turnover number 15. That's 10 interceptions so far for the in 5 games right there for the Hounds. And, you talk about tonight, game number 6. So great job. Ball hawks on defense. Seth Mills making the play as a defensive back for the Hounds defense right there.
This secondary has been everywhere this year. This is not a team that surrenders a lot of passing yards.
No, not really. And, when you can rush 4 and throw a blitz in there every now and then and cover with 7, it helps the back end, that's for sure.
Corbin now with great starting field position. They're going to start on their own 8-yard line, shadow of their own goalpost. Combs in the shotgun with 4 wide. Handoff up the middle to Huff. He's going to lower the shoulder, lower it again.
Wow.
He's dragging Pioneers with him. He's still on his feet. Fights all the way up to about the 24-yard line. Gain of about 16 on the carry for Huff. That's enough for a Red Hound first down.
Yeah, exactly. And, we saw the Huff right there. He got hit about after gaining 3 yards, but ended up with a total of 16. So, Seth Huff, hard runner, hard to bring down right there for the Hounds offense.
1st and 10 at the Pioneer 25. Huff remains in at running back. He's been a welcomed addition to this offense. Hard count. No bite from the defense. Twin wide receivers on the field. Looks like Longmire, Stewart, Newberry, and Curry. Combs just going to hand it off again to Huff. And there's a giant hole up the middle at the 50. Now he's got a pack of Pioneers in pursuit from behind at the 30. Dragged from behind down finally to Pioneer territory at the 16-yard line. Seth Huff gashing this defensive front.
I mean, unbelievable right there. Number 22, Seth Huff, takes the football off that left side, doesn't even get touched till he's 30 or 40 yards down the field. Just a great job by the Hounds offensive line and running back Seth Huff.
Hounds to the line quickly. 1st and 10 at the Pioneer 14. They're going to snap it, fakes the handoff, fires over the middle, in and out of the hands of Stewart. Trying to hook up on the play-action post pattern. Just couldn't haul it in, incomplete.
Yeah, really good idea right there. You got the play-action fake after the big Huff run, and then, you catch Stewart across the middle. But, like you said, unable to complete the pass. But Hounds offense just, just cranking right here early still in this first quarter.
Second and 10. Combs getting the direction from the sideline. Twin wide receivers on the field, remaining in the shotgun. Mills is checked in at running back. Going to be a reverse to Curry. Picks up a great block on the backside, trying to find some wiggle room across the left. There is none there. Going to be leveled right around the line of scrimmage. Might have picked up a half a yard on the reverse play.
Yeah, again, you look at Coach Elam, the offense coordinator for the Hounds, just trying a few little wrinkles here and there. That wrinkle didn't work. You just come right here, reset on 3rd down. When in doubt, let Cam Combs throw the football, Seth Huff run the football. But again, love to see the play calling. It kind of keeping Simon Kenton, the Pioneers, off balance.
Simon Kenton showing blitz, no safeties over top. Fakes the handoff, now comes rolling to his right, loads up and fires, trying to find Newberry in the flat over his head, incomplete. Brings up 4th down. Decision time now for Corbin, well inside the range of Baker, and he's on to try the field goal.
Yeah, exactly. Jacob Baker coming right here trying the field goal. So, anytime you get close, anytime you get in the range of Jacob Baker, just turn the keys over, the car keys over to Jacob Baker. He's going to get put 3 points on the board. So, good to see Jacob Baker, only the junior. Got another year, Jacob Baker, on the field right here for the Hounds.
Ball resting at the 15-yard line. This will be a 32-yard try. Well within his range. Ball on the left hash. He's a right-footed kicker, so not a lot of Not a lot of curvature here necessary. Just has to kick it a little to the right at an angle. Elam's going to be his holder. Snap is down. Kick is a low line drive. It's a knuckleball. No good. They're actually going to call that wide left. I think that came a little funky off his foot there. So the Pioneer defense holds. Corbin comes away with no points on that drive. Turns it over on downs at the 13-yard line where Simon Kenton will take over 1st and 10.
Yeah, just a little bit of a misfire right there for Jacob Baker, but, again, the Hounds sitting good right here. The Pioneers from Simon Kenton kind of pinned deep, even after the missed field goal. So, you turn things over to the Hounds defense. We saw Seth Mills get the interception. Hounds 15 turnovers so far on the season. So, Hounds sitting in good shape right here with the defense on the field.
With the missed field goal, ball goes back to the 20. 4 wide receivers, they're all in tight for Crone. He's out of the shotgun. Hands it off to Lawson across the left side. Slips a tackle, takes a shot, and stays on his feet. Finally wrestled out of bounds by a pack of Red Hounds. Not before he picks up 4 or 5 on the carry.
Yeah, looked like Seth Evan Poore coming in, making the initial hit, and then Mikey Neal coming in to finish off. But, we've said it time after time. Anytime you make a run, anytime you make a catch, this Red Hound defense is going to light you up. And, Evan Poore doing a good job right there.
Crone in the pistol, handoff up the middle. Actually keeps it himself and going to get obliterated in the backfield. Backside blitz from Brody Wells blows it up.
Yeah, exactly. We've seen the Pioneers, kind of give the ball, but right there Crone keeps it. And you said it best right there, Ronnie. Brody Wells coming off the edge and hitting the quarterback in the backfield. So, again, a big 3rd down for the Simon Kenton Pioneers.
3rd and 10, 4 wide receivers on the field for Crone. Crone rolling to his right. Has some time, loads up and fires. Got a receiver hauled in and caught at the 40 where he'll be speared down to the ground. Again, another big shot. That's enough for a Pioneer 1st down.
Yeah, again, the receiver for Simon Kenton, number 10, Jackson Galbraith, just did a really good job kind of settling in the Hound zone, making a catch, and then Seth Mills comes in to make the big hit.
Pioneers up to the line quickly. Toss sweep out of the shotgun. Goes to Lawson across the left side. Picks up a good block on the perimeter. Going to be forced out of bounds near the yard to gain, about 10 yards on the carry. Actually going to give him 12. That's enough for another Pioneer 1st down, and now they're moving with the football.
Yeah, Pioneers moving well, and we saw Lawson, the Pioneers leading rusher right there, seeing what he can do. Gets around that left side and moves the chains again for a Pioneer 1st down. So, right here at midfield, Hounds and defense just settle in, keep things in front of you, no big plays.
Crone in the shotgun, trips to his right, fakes the handoff, keeps it on the read option. Not a lot of running room there. Might have got a yard on the carry. Interior, this defense continuing to be pretty stingy for the run D.
Yeah, and a great point right there, Ronnie. Anytime a team, tries to, run up in the middle, in between the tackles, in between the guards, the Hounds just been turning them back time after time. And, we saw number 44 right there, kind of coming in on a rotation up front for the Hounds. In that front 4, Hunter Upchurch did a great job to close the door on the Pioneer running back.
That'll close the books on the first quarter of play. After 1, Corbin leads 21-0. We'll be back in 60 seconds. You're listening to Red Hound Football on T107.
Hello, I'm Dr. Deidre Pennington, and I invite you to discover the difference at Pennington Wellness, Chiropractic, and Massage. We offer digital x-ray with instant imaging for the most specific solution to your problem. The Atlas orthogonal technique offers a gentle and precise adjustment with no twisting of the neck or spine. Pennington Wellness offers a family-friendly atmosphere.
Trust our Grammy. What do you do?
We've all been there, out and about, and you see someone and you just can't seem to remember their name. This happens to just about all of us, but it shouldn't with your doctor. Today it is so convenient to see a provider who doesn't know your name, let alone your medical history. Your family needs a primary care provider who knows you and meets all of your family's needs. Jane's Family Practice is now open and located on Master Street in Corbin. Stop in for school physicals, women's care, men's health screenings, regular checkups, and when you just aren't feeling your best. Call and schedule an appointment today with Jane's Family Practice at 280-4000. That's 280-4000.
Course and all that stuff, trying to be
I just
safe.
wanted to cruise.
Oh, it's awesome. I don't go fast.
At the start of the second quarter, Hounds on top 21-0. They lead the Simon Kenton Pioneers in their quest to turn to 6-0 on the football season. I'm Ronnie Bowling with Jeff Barnett and Jenny Barnett in the T107 broadcast booth here at Campbell Field. Hounds rolling early, but they did miss on the field goal try here, JB, and the Pioneers have it in Red Hound territory, 2nd and 9.
Yeah, exactly. The first time, we've seen the Pioneers move the football a little bit, the offense of the Pioneers, but right here, almost kind of kicking things in gear a little bit. So, Coach Greer, the defensive coaching staff, see if the Hounds defense can kind of dial in and get the Pioneers stopped.
2nd and 9, Hounds again showing blitz in the neutral zone. Looked like got a no call there, fakes the handoff. Now Crone going to try to keep it up the gut. Might have picked up a yard or two. Hounds caught a break there. Looks like they might have been in the neutral zone there before the snap.
Yeah, I think so. It was right here on the line, right in front of right in front of the Red Hound radio booth. But you're right. Looked like number 55, Sean Brummett made the hit, but brings up his 3rd down.
3rd and about 7. Crone low snap, digs it out of the dirt. He's under pressure, evades it. Still looking downfield, tucks and runs it, runs out of bounds to avoid the hit. From this angle, looks like he stepped out right around the 41-yard line. That's where they'll mark it. Going to set up 4th and 5 at the Corbin 41-yard line. Might see them think about going for it here.
Yeah, I think so. If you're going to try to, put some points on the board early in this second quarter right here, Hounds up 21-0. And you're right, Ronnie. Simon Kenton going to try to pick up this 1st down.
5 wide receivers on the field for the Pioneers on 4th down. Loads up and fires. Got a tight end in the flat. He drops it. Going to be caught at the line of scrimmage. Still don't think he would have picked it up. Had some Red Hounds in the vicinity. But nonetheless, Pioneers will turn it over on downs. Hounds will take over at their own 41-yard line.
Yeah, just, a case of kind of looking before you catch the football right there. And 4th and 4, 4th and 5, the Pioneers unable to pick up the 1st down. And then, even though, the Hounds are kind of going towards the concession stand right here, kind of flip the field. Offense in great position, to try to attack the defense of the Pioneers.
The way the Corbin defense has been hitting, I can't blame him for looking.
Exactly.
Catches
That's
the
right.
Football.
That's right.
A lot of physical football tonight on display. Combs opens up in the shotgun. 4 wide receivers on the field. Huff is his running back. Huff will get the call up the gut, breaks a tackle, throws the stiff arm to the right, now drags a couple Pioneers with him out of bounds. Looks like he'll be marked down at the Simon Kenton 48-yard line, gain of 11 on the carry. That's enough for a Red Hound 1st down.
Yeah, good run right there off the right side by Seth Huff. And, you look at the defensive front of the Pioneers for Simon Kenton. They've got that 4-man front. So, you got those 3 backers right there behind. Think they can stop the run. But, again, Seth Huff just doing a great job.
Same formation for Corbin. They like to go no huddle, and they like to do the hard count. No bite from the defensive front of the Pioneers. Gets an adjustment from Coach Elam on the sideline. Fakes the handoff, fires over the middle, trying to find Curry on the slant route. In and out of his hands, incomplete. A little off sync tonight.
I think so. Yeah, we've seen the Hounds try that, that play, that look 2 or 3 times tonight. Kind of use Seth Huff in the play action game, and then, kind of get those backers to kind of fly upfield there and then go over the top right there in that play to Xander Curry. But you're right, just a little bit out of sync. Sometimes, we saw the Hounds start fast with that bye week, but sometimes that bye week can kind of mess up the timing just a little bit.
2nd and 10. Designed quarterback run. Combs is going to be leveled into the dirt. Wow, took a really hard shot. Lost 3 yards. Good to see him up off the dirt. He looked like he was thrown down right on his throwing shoulder.
Yeah, exactly. Cam Combs, we saw him with that injury, and then he comes off the injury. But you're right. We've seen him break a couple runs early. But right there, you never want to see your quarterback take a hit like that. And good to see Cam Combs up and ready to go for this 3rd down.
Another 3rd and long for this Red Hound offensive unit. They remain in the shotgun. 4 wide receivers. Combs takes the snap and sets in the pocket. They rush 4. He loads up to fire. He's got Newberry. Trips down the field trying to find him on the deep ball. Sails over his head and incomplete.
Yeah, Newberry did a great job to kind of get that one-on-one coverage and kind of beat the one-on-one coverage down the left side. But, Cam Combs, after taking that big hit, kind of fires the ball a little deep, and Newberry unable to, come up with the catch. So brings this 4th down right here. Jacob Baker on, right at the 50-yard line. Let's see if he can pin the Pioneers deep right here on defense.
Simon Kenton looking at a safe look. Now they'll substitute a return man on the field. He's going to be standing right around his own 10-yard line. Baker again kicking from the midfield stripe. Hauls in the snap, puts the toe to it. Very high end-over-end kick. Going to be fielded at the 10. Got some running room, picks up a good block. Surges ahead up to about the 27-yard line. Good little return there. So Pioneers, decent field position, just haven't done much with it tonight offensively.
Yeah, exactly. Number 18 right there for the Pioneers. Zeb Sand did, like you said, did a really good job to kind of catch the return in traffic and then make a couple moves to gain about 10 or 15 yards. So, the Pioneers take over right here at their own 26-yard line. Hounds defense on the field. And, kind of the pace of the football game has kind of went back and forth right here. Hounds still up, though, 21-0. 10 minutes to go in this second quarter.
Crone opens up in the shotgun with 4 wide receivers on the field. Lawson's his running back. Hounds showing blitz, and they bring it. Gets the ball out quickly. He gets destroyed. My goodness.
Oh, my goodness.
Evan Poor
wow.
laid him out. The hits in this game have been nightmarish.
I'm telling you, Evan Poor can bring the pain. I mean, my goodness. If you better know where number 15 for the Hounds is, Evan Poor. He's plays cornerback, but he brings
like a safety.
Exactly. He brings a lot of hit right there. And you look for the receiver, hopefully for Simon Kenton to get up, but unfortunately for the Pioneers, the receiver down after that big hit by Evan Poor. And we've talked about it time after time, Ronnie. You catch the ball, you run the ball, you're going to get hit by this Red Hound defense.
Yeah, the physical nature of this defense it's really imposed its will on folks, and you don't see that on a stat sheet. You see it in the fourth quarter watching the game. Teams just look miserable playing this team.
Exactly. Great.
It's actually going to be called, as they're tending to the shaken up Pioneer right now, the call is actually going to be a fumble. That's the correct call. He hauled it in, took about 3 steps, and got leveled to the chest. He's still shaken up. Hounds recovered the fumble, so that's another turnover forced by this defensive unit.
Another turnover there, just forced by the pure, the shot right there by Evan Poor. And you look at the turnovers, 16 turnovers by this defense. And I tell you what, unfortunately, the player for Simon Kenton don't have the numbers still down right here. Think he's, hopefully going to be all right. But, again, Evan Poor just really coming and laying the wood. You catch a ball, you run a ball. I sound like a broken record right here. But, my goodness, it's amazing how physical the Hounds defense is. And that's what Coach Greer's talked about, being physical up front on the offensive side of the football, being physical up front on the defensive side of the football. And the Hounds have delivered so far this season.
Finally sitting up out there. He called in the out route. It was a great reception. And when he took 2 steps towards the sideline, when he turned upfield, the first thing he saw was Evan Poor coming screaming at him.
Oh, wow.
And it was a very, very brutal hit. Be shocked to see him return to the game. That's the kind of hit you see a concussion.
That's right. Yeah,
probably what they'll put him in concussion protocol right now. He luckily left the field under his own power, though. That's good to see. Result of the play, a fumble recovered by the Red Hound defense. They'll set them up 1st and 10 at the Simon Kenton 31-yard line.
Yeah, a good hit by Evan Poor, just right in the shoulder pads. Great level of a hit.
Comes out of the shotgun, handoff to the right. Trying to find some wiggle room, puts his foot in the dirt, now reverses the field. Not a lot there, going to be tackled down at the 29. Picks up about 2 on the carry, and a flag comes in after the play.
Yeah, Hounds offense right there, trying to get Mills on the edge, using the speed of Mills and, that blocking angle for the Hounds offense. But, not a big gain, and then the flag coming out. So officials kind of meeting right there and are going to let us know what the flag is.
Personal foul, unsportsmanlike conduct going against the Red Hounds. Going to back them up. It's going to be a dead ball, so that should be 15-yard penalty and 2nd down.
Yeah, I think so. And, I didn't see exactly what happened right there, but, the official marking the yardage off. So going to put the Hounds way behind the chains right here, probably right 2nd and 25, 2nd and 27. So, see what Coach Elam, can dial up right here. Still a lot of time in this football game. 9:47 in this second quarter. Hounds up 21-0.
Second and very long after the personal foul. Hounds remain in the shotgun. Longmire's in single coverage again, by the way. 4 wide receivers on the field. Low snap. Cam comes, digs it out of the dirt, loads up and fires over the middle. He's got his running back out of the backfield. Sheds a couple tackles, still dragging Pioneers with him up to the 35-yard line. Picks up about 8 on the running back reception. Now 3rd and very long for this unit.
Yeah, 3rd and long right there. Seth Huff coming out of the backfield, making a reception. Doesn't go down after that first hit, but Hounds moving fast right here on 3rd down.
3rd and about 12 to go. Penalty going to go against the Red Hounds. They tried for the no-huddle look, had a receiver take off just a little early. That's going to be 5 yards in the wrong direction.
Yeah, another 5-yard penalty right there. We saw the hit right there, unsportsmanlike 15 yards, and then the offsides right there for 5. And anytime you see a lot of penalties, it gets you behind the chains in a hurry. So Hounds looking at a 3rd and 18 right here, trying to pick up this 1st down.
Hounds remain in the shotgun. Everybody off the line of scrimmage. They're just going to load up and fire the screen play to Longmire, let him make a move in space. And
there
he does. Slips past 2 tacklers, walking into the end zone for the touchdown. Actually, they're going to call him down. They never did blow it dead, but they're saying he did step out of bounds at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, I think so. I thought Travion, kind of got the edge right there. But, 4th down, Hounds going to go for it right here. 4th and looks about 5 yards. So, Coach Elam, the offensive staff, coming up to the line quick.
1st and 10, hard count. Getting no bite out of this defense. 4th and 5 at the Simon Kenton 26-yard line. 4 wide receivers on the field, 4 Combs on 4th down. Hound's going to keep it on the ground on 4th down. Up the gut to Huff. I think he's got the 1st down, and he's just going to keep bruising his way ahead down to the Simon Kenton 16. Gain of 10 on the carry.
Yeah, just getting hit after about 2 yards through the line of scrimmage, just right in the teeth, that front 4 of the Pioneers. But Seth Huff, just not going down, not being denied, moving the chains for the Hounds.
1st and 10 at the 17. Hounds remain in the shotgun. Been there most of the football game. Got Stewart and Newberry to the right. Curry and Longmire to the left. Huff is his running back, flank to his right. Ball resting on the left hash. Fakes the handoff, loads up and fires over the middle, trying to find Stewart on the post pattern. In and out of his hands, incomplete.
Yeah, really good idea. We've seen that route, that play action pass, 3 or 4 times tonight. And, just the connection wasn't there again. But really good idea, really good play call, especially after you see Huff hit it up in there and pick up that 1st down for the Hounds. So, that play is going to be there. That's kind of play, if you don't hit it in this first quarter, 2nd quarter, it's going to be there late in the football game.
2nd and 10. Comes hands off up the middle to Huff. Now he bounces it out to the left side. Pushed out of bounds. Right around the 6-yard line. Going to be first down yardage there. Pick up of about 9 or 10 on the carry.
Yeah, exactly. Seth Huff, the offensive line, almost makes it look easy. You're sitting there 2nd and 10, 2nd and 11. You give the ball to Huff. Next thing you know, you look up and you're right at the 1st down marker. I think it's 3rd and short. But, again, anytime Seth Huff touches that football behind that big offensive line, the Hounds have got positive yards.
Brings up 3rd and inches. Ball resting right around the Simon Kenton 7. Mills checks into the football game at running back. Huff's going to get the call. Bounces again to the left side. Head for the end zone. Takes to his feet, and he's fumbled as he hits. I think that might be a touchback, and it is. He fumbled into the end zone, recovered by Simon Kenton. No score, and they get the ball back. Worst case scenario there.
Yeah, a tough break right there. Seth Huff, again, doing a great job around the left side. Kind of goes in the air and gets flipped up and drops the football. And Simon Kenton comes up with it in the end zone. So you're right, Ronnie. Tough break for the offense for the Hounds. But, again, Simon Kenton Pioneers coming out right here. 8:07 left in this 2nd quarter. Hounds up 21-0.
We're going to take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. The Hounds defense pitching the shutout. Forced 2 turnovers already in the night. Would have been a 4-touchdown lead. He went airborne and just got hit as he left his feet, and the ball came out.
Yeah, always tough. Go airborne, you see the hurdle, you see the dive, and always kind of puts you in a bad way. And unfortunately for the Hounds, come up and put the ball on the ground.
1st and 10, Pioneers out of the shotgun. Going to be a quarterback run across the left side. Nothing there. Might have picked up a yard or 2 on the carry.
You look like number looks 64, Ethan Goforth in there. Yeah, Ethan
Playing
Goforth in there.
defense.
Yeah, playing defense on that right side defensive end. Doing a good job for the Hounds. Looks like Braden Reynolds up in there. Carter Severe, looks like number 55.
It
Sean
could be Joe
Brummett as
Brown.
well,
He
so.
could have his jersey rolled up a
That's
little.
right. Yeah, maybe so. That's right.
Second down, handoff. It's actually going to be a quarterback keeper up the middle. Crone's got some running room ahead to his own 38-yard line. It's going to be enough for a Pioneer first down.
Yeah, Pioneers moving the football right there and trying to, 7:25 left in the second quarter. Hounds up big, 21-0. So Pioneers need to get something going on offense. But again, Hounds defense, forced 2 turnovers already tonight, settling in right here. Pioneers have the ball on their own, looks like on 39-yard line.
Crone remains in the shotgun, resets his running back to the left. Read option. Now he's going to give it. Trying to find some running room. Not going to find it. Going to be slung ahead for a 3-yard gain, maybe 4. Brings up third and a medium.
Yeah, looked like number 9, Bryson Bad on the hit right there for the Hounds D. And just looking out there, you're exactly right, Ronnie. Number 54, Judge Joe Brown at that right defensive end spot, ran in the spot for the Hounds defense. Doing a good job as always. So, again, that front 4, Hounds in the front 4. And then they've got Mikey Neal, the Mike backer right there behind him.
Actually, second down and medium. Fakes the handoff. Now throws into the flat to the screen. Got a receiver. No running room there. Going to be tackled at the 45-yard line. Picks up about 2 on the carry. Now brings up third and 4.
Yeah, and again, we see the speed of the Hounds defense right there, number 9, Bryson Batt closing the door real quick, on the little rocket screen. But, Bryson Batt kind of playing that rover-type strong safety position, coming up, making a big tackle in space to get the Pioneers of Simon Kenton to third down right here.
Third and about 3. Crone remains in the shotgun. Hounds doing a little shifting up front defensively. Handoff. Now it's actually going to be a keeper. He'll keep it himself up to the midfield stripe. Staggers forward into Red Hound territory at the 48-yard line. That's enough for another Pioneer first down.
Yeah, Pioneers moving the ball right there. Chase Crone doing a really good job. Joe Brown provided instant pressure. We always talk about that instant pressure into the backfield. But, number 11 right there, Chase Crone doing a good job to make the defenders for the Hounds miss and pick up the first down and move the ball for Simon Kenton.
First and 10 at the Corbin 48-yard line, pistol formation. Long stretch handoff going across the left side. He's up to the 45. He runs out of bounds. Right around the 42. Picks up about 6 on the carry.
Yeah, another run right there by the Russian leader for the Pioneers, Jaden Lawson, kind of running, like you said, Ronnie, the stretch run out to the left side. But, again, getting positive yardage. So Simon Kenton, the Pioneers, kind of got a little something going right here and moving towards the end zone. So Hounds defense needs to dial in and get the stop.
Second and 4. 3 wide receivers on the field. Pioneers remain in the pistol set. Handoff up the gut. Got some running room at the 35. Another Pioneer first down. They're on the move down to the Corbin 34-yard line.
Yeah, Brandon Baker coming in, making the hit, but you're right. The Pioneers kind of hitting it left, hitting it right, throwing a little screen to the right, and, right there hitting it up the middle, kind of moving the ball all around, kind of for the Hounds, hard to settle in defensively on, what the Pioneers are doing. So, look for Coach Greer, maybe send the blitz, try to settle things down right here.
First and 10 at the Corbin 33-yard line. Crone in the shotgun. They've checked the tight end of the game, and it's picked this running game up just a hair. Read option keeper up the gut. Down to the Corbin 21. Pick up a 12. That's going to be another Pioneer first down. Yeah, the tight end has really thrown off, I think, the numbers in the box.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't see that, but great point, Ronnie. You're right. Anytime you add that tight end in there, that's going to give you another big body to kind of move the football. And you're right. You add that tight end, and the Pioneers just really chunking the Hounds right here, 5 and 10 and 12 yards at a crack. So defense needs to dial it in.
Corbin kind of setting a too-high safety look, so the number look is good. They're going to pass it here on first down, fire into the back of the end zone, over his hand and incomplete. Adequately covered there on the left side.
Yeah, really good job trying to get the number over there. The Hounds defense doing a good job. Yeah, exactly, Brody Wells. But you watch on Saturdays, you watch on Sundays football. They always talk about the box, the 8-man box, the light box, and right there when you add that tight end, you kind of change things on that box. And so the Pioneers see that box and the box counts a little bit light. they're going to run the football. And right there, they've done a good job right here late in this second quarter.
Yeah, Baker's actually checked back in the game. They're running with a too-high safety look. Handoff, now it's going to be a fake. Fires the screen out into the flats. Hauled in and caught at the 20. Shakes off a tackler at the 15. Finally brought the rest at the Corbin 13-yard line. Going to be very close for another Pioneer first down, depending on the spot.
Yeah, it looks like number 23, Brandon Baker, making the hit. 4 minutes to go. Hounds up 21-0 right here late in the second quarter. So, Simon Kenton kind of found their legs a little bit, and Hounds need to get this stop on defense.
No stranger to scoring. They have put up big points. Quarterback keeper on 3rd and inches. Staggers forward to the 10-yard line. Picks up about 2 or 3 on the carry. That's enough for another Pioneer first down. Flag down on the play over on the Corbin sideline, though.
Yeah, going to see what the flag is, but you mentioned the points. Simon Kenton got a 0 on the board right now, but sideline warning. But Simon Kenton, the Pioneers, averaging I think right around 35 points a game. So you're right. They know how to get the ball in the end zone in a hurry. But Hounds defense has done a great job to still keep the 0 on the board late in this second quarter.
Going to check in. Change defensive looks, checking back in. Franklin West on the defensive front. That's where he started his career at.
That's right.
Checking at defensive tackle. He is disruptive. Pioneers in the pistol set. Handoff goes up the middle. Actually, he keeps it himself. Right behind him, trying to find that lead blocker. Picks up about 5 on the carry. Second goal from the Corbin 5.
Yeah, and you said it right there. Number 74, Big Frank, coming in, making a hit. And, just adding another run stuffer for the Hounds defense.
No huddle look here on the goal line. Pioneers back to the line of scrimmage, fakes the handoff, keeps it up the gut, bangs his way towards the end zone. I think he's just shy now. Actually, they're going to give him the touchdown. Pioneers finding their way on the scoreboard.
Yeah, exactly. And, you got to give credit where credit's due. The Pioneers did a great job. You mentioned bringing in the tight end to add another run blocker, move the ball around with a little rocket screen and, put points on the board.
And Pioneers lined up in the swinging gate formation. If Corbin lines up correctly, and they do, they'll convert to the traditional PAT set. Andrew Petty, place kicker for the Pioneers, lining up to kick it away. Crone, the quarterback, to hold. He scored the touchdown for Simon Kenton. High snap, it's corralled. Kick is up and away. It's high, and it's through the uprights. It's good. 3:04 remaining in the first half. Corbin leads 21-7. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Red Hound Football on T107.
Summer is here, and the deal on the iPhone 12 mini just got even hotter at Appalachian Wireless. The iPhone 12 mini comes with massive features and is the perfect pocket size. Best of all, Appalachian Wireless is offering the iPhone 12 mini for just $1 with a 2-year contract. Good things do come in small packages, and it's the iPhone 12 mini on the region's best network. But don't wait. This deal won't last long. We are you. We are Appalachian Wireless.
That's right.
3:04 remaining in the first half of play. Corbin on top, 21-7. Simon Kenton finally dotting the scoreboard on a 5-yard touchdown run from their quarterback. Hounds still have a 2-touchdown lead here at Campbell Field. I'm Ronnie Bowling with Jeff Barnett and Jenny Barnett in the T107 broadcast booth. And finally, JB, the Pioneers find their legs offensively, make a couple adjustments, which you expect Corbin to also respond to. Now we got a football game.
Yeah, exactly. 21-7 right there. And, we saw the Pioneers averaging 35 points a game. So, you wasn't gonna hold them forever and, knock the door down right there and put 7 points on the board. So, let's see right here how the Hounds offense responds.
Petty on to kick it away. It's a low kick in the dirt at the 30. Angling out of bounds where it'll roll out of bounds. Flag comes a-flying. Disagree with that call. That's a little soft, but going to be an illegal procedure call, at least against Simon Kenton. Could be the flag. And then Brody Wells threw a block out in space and maybe a little untimely.
Yeah, might get caught with one right there, but again, you always want to have those players that's ready to hit somebody. And, the Hounds offense, Hounds defense, special teams, always looking to get those shots in. So you never want to take that away from a good, aggressive football team.
See the call here. The ball is marked at the 35-yard line. That's where it goes after the illegal procedure. Let's see if there's a flag against Wells for the contact after the whistle. close to the whistle, shall we say.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it looks like referees, kind of meeting up right there in the little huddle trying to figure out the flag. But you're right, ball on the 35 right now.
Yeah, going to be assessed against Corbin as well. Legal procedure, the call against Simon Kenton. Dead ball, personal foul going against Corbin. Pretty weak call, but nonetheless. Renown's going to get a first down. Could they have the option to re-kick there?
That's true. Didn't think about it.
From the 20. I mean, they're getting the ball at the 20. You can't do any worse.
That's right. That is right.
Nonetheless, Corbin's going to take over 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line. Ball resting on the left hash. He'll open up in the shotgun, twins to the wide side of the field, one wide receiver to the short side. That's Longmire. Mills and Huff in the backfield. Flanking comes on either side. Huff's going to get the call across the left side. Big hole there. Going to plow through a couple Pioneers. Finally brought to rest at the 27-yard line. Pickup of about 7 on the carry. Brings up 2nd and 3.
Yeah, again, Simon Kenton sitting in that 4-man front, that 4-3, 4-2 look. They, kind of bouncing back according to what the Hounds set looks like. But again, no way to stop the Seth Huff right there on that big run.
Also going with 2 high safeties, fakes the handoff, now fires in the flat to Longmire, who's going to be crushed in the backfield. Ball comes loose. They're going to call it down by contact.
Yeah, tough play right there. See the play action by Cam Combs kind of rolling out to the left side. And then, kind of not knowing exactly what to do right there. Hits Travion Longmire out in the kind of little bit of a screen. But, Travion Longmire taking a big hit. So brings up a big 3rd down and 6. 2 minutes to go before halftime right here.
Hounds would like to see a first down here, not give the football right back to a tired defense. Combs takes the snap on 3rd down, loads up to fire over the middle, in and out of his hands, incomplete. Stewart cannot haul it in. Combs' completion percentage is going to take a hit tonight. He's had a lot of drop balls tonight out of his receiving core.
Yes, he has, and Cam Combs done a great job. The offensive line has done a great job giving protection, but you're right, for whatever reason, Hounds receivers, caught a couple balls, but for the most part, maybe does the week off, kind of change things, but unable to come up with some catches. So, look for the Hounds to punt the football away right here, 2 minutes to go in this 2nd quarter.
Baker on to kick it away. Hounds without their leading receiver tonight. Patterson not in play. Baker puts a low line drive kick, going to be fielded at the 45 in traffic at the 50. Up to the 40, inside to the 38-yard line. Good return there. Well, a lot of hang time on that kick was allowed him to field that cleanly and get a good return.
Yeah, kind of almost a line driver right there, and Evan Poore comes up and make the hits. But, Simon Kenton right here, the Pioneers in the best field position of the night in Hounds territory already. So, Hounds up 21-7 right here. Minute 51 left in the 2nd quarter. Hounds defense need a stop right here, right now, to kind of keep this football game in check.
Simon Kenton takes over 1st and 10 at the Red Hound 38-yard line. They trail 21-7 with a minute 51 remaining in the first half of play. Crone at quarterback. He's got a tight end checked into the football game. That's been helping the rushing attack. Going to give straight away to Lawson. Sidesteps at the 35. England out of bounds. Going to pick up about 5 or 6 on the carry. Again, the adjustment being the tight end checked into the football game has helped this running game immensely.
Well, I think, you saw it in the last drive. The tight end doing a great job, and Jaden Lawson, running the football. And I tell you what, the Pioneers have found something right here.
Lawson going to keep it himself across the right side up to the 30. Takes a shot at the 28. That's going to be enough for another Pioneer first down. Clock will stop at a minute 37 remaining in the first half.
Yeah, it looks like I don't think the Pioneers got their full complement of timeouts right here. And, another first down moving the chains. So, Pioneers trying to get back in the football game. And Hounds defense, really needs to get off the field and get this stop.
First down, pistol formation, going to run the stretch play towards the trips. Got some running room there. Finally going to be tackled from behind at the 19-yard line. Pickup of 8 on the first down carry.
Yeah, and can't overstate, Ronnie. We've talked about it 2 or 3 times, but, the running game has picked up, in the last 2 possessions for the Pioneers.
2nd and short, no huddle play. Going to fake the handoff and look to keep it himself. Going to be tackled in the backfield. Loses about a yard or 2. on the read option play as clock goes down inside a minute. Simon Kenton going to burn a timeout. We'll take a quick one as well. 57 seconds remaining in the first half of play. Corbin leads 21-7. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening.
What's up, y'all? This is Chase Rice hanging outdoors with an ice-cold Mountain Dew. You know, it's easy to tell who really loves the outdoors. One thing, there's a rack on your car and a hitch on the back of your truck. There's a garage full of toys from wakeboards to dirt bikes. And there's a cooler full of Mountain Dew, always at the ready. Because when it's time to get out and do, you know, hit the lake or the deer stand, a cooler of Mountain Dew, that's as important a piece of outdoor gear as your four-wheeler or your fishing rod. Mountain Dew. Do the do.
Do that. I got to do it.
I'm clean and jerk at 155, man.
You're big, stronger than me. Stronger than me.
57 seconds remaining in the first half of play. Corbin leads 21-7 here right before the half. Corbin again at home hosting the Pioneers of Simon Kenton High School, trying to go to 6-0 on the season. That'll all hinge whether they stop him here on 3rd and 2 right before the half, JB. I'm Ronnie Bowling with Jeff Barnett and Jenny Barnett in the T107 broadcast booth, and this has been a tale of two quarters indeed.
Yeah.
Corbin exploded out of the gate to a 21-0 to lead. The second quarter has been nothing but Pioneers.
Yeah, Pioneers kind of settled in right here late before halftime, and, you know, huge play right here on 3rd down and 2. You know, Pioneers probably in 4-down territory, 57 seconds. Hounds D needs to rise up right here and get the stop.
Bunch formation to the right. They have run the toss sweep out of this set. Now they're going to fake the handoff, keep it on the read option, up the gut. He'll submarine past the offensive line down to the Simon Kenton 13-yard line. That's enough for another first down. 1st and 10 at the Corbin 13-yard line with 51 seconds remaining in the half.
Yeah, Simon Kenton moving quick right here.
Pistol set, all 4 wide receivers in tight. Handoff goes up the gut, nothing there. He's going to be pounded down to the pavement by the entire defensive line.
Big hit right there. Saw the Hounds right before the play run on another defensive lineman. So really good job, really good adjustment by Coach Greer and the defensive staff to kind of get this running game stopped for the Pioneers. You know, you got 37 seconds. Hounds up 21-7 in the second quarter. So Hounds need to keep the Pioneers out of the end zone right here.
Timeout on the field. We'll keep it right here before the half. 37 seconds remaining in the football game. Again, this has been a tale of two quarters indeed. Corbin struck early and often in this football game. Seth Huff took it in from 2 yards out, and then immediately a few seconds later takes it in from 56 yards out, and then they get the ball back again in 45 seconds.
That's right.
Travion Longmire, 67-yard touchdown reception. Corbin was up big, and they forced 2 turnovers on the game, but since then the offense kind of stalled out a little bit. Defense has been on the field a lot. So, again, Corbin trying to get into halftime to make some coaching adjustments at this point.
Yeah, I think so. You know, the Hounds defense can get into halftime right here. 37 seconds to go. Keep the Pioneers off the board right here and keep the score at 21-7. Coach Greer, Coach Elam, and the staff come in at halftime, make those adjustments. The Hounds coaching staff, always one of the best in the state, doing a great job to make adjustments. So, you know, we saw the defensive tackle, the extra lineman, the defensive lineman run on the field right there and make a good stop. So, you know, Hounds D needs to get out of the half right here.
2nd and 11. Pioneers with 2 tight ends on the football field. Low snap. Keeps it himself. Now he's going to set the throw. Rolling to his right. Puts the ball in the air. Just trying to get rid of it. Throws the ball away. Incomplete. Going to bring up 3rd and 11.
Yeah, 3rd down again, and a really good job by the defensive line to kind of keep Chase Crone, the quarterback for the Pioneers, kind of cornered right there. And then, you know, Crone throwing the football to the end zone. You tip your hat to the DBs. We've already seen a couple turnovers tonight by the Hounds defense. So, again, a huge 3rd down, 30 seconds left until halftime. Hounds up 21-7. But, again, Pioneers knock it on the door.
3rd and 11. Official timeout on the field. Going to reset the play clock and the game clock as well. Your score, Corbin 21, Simon Kenton 7. 30 seconds remaining in the first half. Simon Kenton surging back to life, down 21-0 early in this football game. Second quarter has been all Pioneers.
Yeah, you know, you look at who gets the ball at halftime. The Pioneers come out with the football as well. So,
they do.
You know, a huge possession right here for the Pioneers and the Hounds coming out right here.
Trip set to the left. Going to set the throw. Fires over the middle of the field. Nobody home. Incomplete. Hounds defense brings up a big 4th down, and the Pioneers probably looking to kick this one.
Yeah, it looks like, number 6, Noah Steinman, I think, maybe coming on the field to kick the extra points and, to attempt the field goal right here. Actually, the long snapper, so, but you're right, Ronnie, going to attempt the field goal. Simon Kenton trying to put a few more points on the board right here before half.
Ball spotted at the 15. That should be a 32-yard field goal attempt by Petty. Hounds staying in the safe defense, not going after it here. High snap, it's corralled. Kick is up and away. It's got the height. It looks good from here, and it is. 22 seconds remaining in the first half of play. Corbin leads 21-10. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Red Hound Football on T107.
What's your favorite thing about football time in Corbin? The hometown pride, the sound of the cannon that echoes through downtown Corbin with every point scored? Or is it the tradition of taking your family to Mi Casa before the game? In Corbin, it's all about tradition, and that's what you can count on at Mi Casa Mexican Restaurant. A family-friendly, delicious meal with every visit. Stop in and enjoy their patio and weekly specials. Good luck and go Hounds from Mi Casa of Corbin.
Yeah.
He's at the 45. He's behind 55.
Yeah, I said he's got to be the kicker, but he wasn't.
22 seconds remaining in the first half of play. Corbin on top 21-10 over the visiting Simon Kenton Pioneers. I'm Ronnie Bowling with Jeff Barnett and Jenny Barnett in the T107 broadcast booth. And right now, Hounds just trying to get out of the half right now. They've surrendered 10 unanswered to the Pioneers. They're still on top 21-10, but Simon Kenton going to get the ball back at the half.
Yeah, exactly. You talked about the tale of 2 quarters, and Hounds own the first quarter, and the Pioneers have kind of fought and clawed and scratched right back in this football game. So, again, Hounds just looking to get to halftime.
Petty will put the ball on the ground, going to be fielded finally at the 25-yard line, up to the 30, finally brought to rest right around the own 35. I think that was 32. Ethan Gregory handling punt return duties. Now we have a Red Hound shaken up on the kick return. Wait to get the number there. Can't see quite who it is. Is that Bat maybe?
It may be right there. A tough break for the Hounds. You know, just trying, like we mentioned a minute ago, just trying to get out to the half, but didn't exactly see what happened, but definitely in pain right here. So, could be a tough break right here for the Hounds if, Bat's down and hurt maybe. We're just trying to get that number as well. Not exactly sure if that's who it is, but, the trainers, actually Coach Greer coming out as well right here on the field.
It would be a major blow to the defensive unit to see him go down with an injury. It is Bryson Bat is the shaken up Red Hound. He's up, seated. He's clutching the lower part of his left leg. Of course, plays the outside linebacker, stress strong safety position. Historically, those are your best 2 athletes on the defense are those spots. Greer loves to use them in coverage, run support. Hopefully Justin, maybe a sprained ankle. He's walking on it gingerly with some assistance off the field. You know more about that. We'll let you know at home, but Bryson Bat, the shaken up Hound on the play.
Yeah, hopefully, like you said, just a little bit of an injury, maybe a tweak of the ankle, whatever, but, kind of putting a little bit of weight on it, going off the field. 18 seconds right here, Hounds up in the second quarter, 21-10. See if the Hounds look to attack or look to kind of just get to the half. And, not surprising, Hounds, lining up in the shotgun, may look to attack right here with 18 seconds.
Simon Kenton going the nickel defense, 3 down linemen, 2 linebackers. Everybody else defensive back, got a safety standing 30 yards off the football. Hounds, again, they are in the shotgun. They're there most of the football game. 4 wide receivers on the field, ball on the left hash. Low snap, throws the swing route up to Mills in the flat, gets a good block. Puts his foot in the dirt at the 40, finally tackled out of bounds. And they will mark him out of bounds. Right at the first down marker, he might be short by about a half a yard.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe just a little bit short right there. Cam Combs, like you said, hitting Seth Mills out of the backfield. Looks to see if anything, may open up downfield. Didn't see anything. Throws a check down, and then Seth Mills runs the play. But, again, 9 seconds right here. Just look for the Hounds to kind of maybe see if something shakes loose.
2nd and 1, 9 seconds remaining, 5 wide receivers on the field. Combs takes the snap, 3-man rush, climbs the pocket, fires over the middle, almost intercepted. trying to find Mills out in space on the post route, incomplete with 4 seconds remaining.
Yeah, exactly. And, you look at the Hounds offense, I thought maybe they just try to get to the half, but I'll tell you what, Coach Elam, offensive coordinator, putting the gas pedal down, trying to put more points on the board. So
get to the half with a touchdown.
Exactly. So really good job right there. Love to see the Hounds offense, defense using every single second of this half.
4 seconds remaining, 3rd and 1. Should see Combs throw it up to the end zone here. 5 wide receivers on the field. Combs in the shotgun now. He's going to keep it himself up the gut. He's going to be tackled in the backfield for a loss as the half will expire. With 1 half of play in the books, Corbin will go into the halftime break leading 21-10. We're going to cut away for corporate sponsor time. We'll have halftime break when we come back in 5 minutes. Again, your score, Corbin 21, Simon Kenton 10. We'll be back in 5. You're listening to Red Hound Football on T107.
Hometown Bank is proud of their name because Hometown Bank is proud of the hometowns they're in. In fact, their name is their mission, which is to take care of the communities in which they work and live. Hometown Bank is always here to help, so if you're buying a house, remodeling your kitchen, or need a home equity loan to combine other debt, come see Hometown Bank and find out how easy working with a Hometown Bank can be. Visit the Hometown Bank nearest you. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
When you've been in business since 1954, you have to be doing something right. At Owens Auto Repair, they believe in honesty, service, and that hard work can still get you somewhere. Owens offers a complete line of truck and auto parts, as well as their custom-made hydraulic hoses, weather guard toolboxes, utility beds, and Sherwin-Williams auto paint. They also offer auto repair for cars, trucks, and RVs, and of course have top name-brand tires. And they do towing and recovery. Owens Auto Repair, located just down from Corbin High School on Cumberland Falls Highway.
Our world has dramatically changed over the past couple of years. We've all had to adjust to these changing times. But one thing has not changed is the fact that the Hart family and Tri-County Cycle Sales is still serving southeastern Kentucky with the same quality products and service after the sale since 1968. Honda, Yamaha, Kawasaki, and Polaris are the biggest names in off-road adventure and still can be found at Tri-County Cycle Sales. For your next ATV or side-by-side, stop by the place where time has stood still. Tri-County Cycle Sales, located between Corbin and London on US 25 across from Kentucky Outdoorsman.
The magical season of fall is here with cooler temperatures and shorter days, and that means two things: hunting season and it's football time in the Bluegrass. So before you plan your next hunting or fishing trip, stop by southeastern Kentucky's #1 hunting and fishing headquarters, Kentucky Outdoorsman. It's national buying power with the same family-owned small-town customer service to which you've become accustomed. Get equipped for your next outdoor adventure at Kentucky Outdoorsman, located on US Highway 25 between Corbin and London next to Tri-County Cycle Sales.
Hi, welcome to Sonic. May I take your order?
2 Sonic grilled cheeseburgers.
I'm on it.
Order up.
Sonic grilled cheeseburger ready for pickup.
I need a Mocha Crunch Blast, please. You got it.
I'm on the Mocha Fudge.
We're gonna need more espresso chunks.
Order up.
Sonic Mocha Crunch Blast.
Dreaming about enjoying time on the lake but need a boat? Or planning a road trip but not sure which RV is right for you and your family? Wildcat RV and Marine can help. With our selection of Keystone and Crossroads RVs and Mercury Low boats, we can get you in the great outdoors. We're a family-owned RV and Marine dealer with professionally trained sales and service departments. Our staff is committed to helping you find the perfect RV or boat and keep it on the road or in the water. Wildcat RV and Marine, just off I-75 in Corbin, or online at wildcatrvandmarine.com.
If you're looking for a better night's sleep, Sammy's Furniture has the perfect mattress for you. Whether it's combining the support of an innerspring mattress with the comfort of memory foam with a Sealy hybrid, or the all-night cooling of the new Tempur-Pedic Breeze, or the unparalleled design and craftsmanship of a Stearns & Foster, Sammy's Furniture is here to help you find a mattress that won't break your back or your budget. That's Sammy's Furniture and Sleep Shop, open 7 days a week. Visit our store to find your perfect mattress today.
Hello, I'm Dr. Deidre Pennington, and I invite you to discover the difference at Pennington Wellness, Chiropractic, and Massage. We offer digital x-ray with instant imaging for the most specific solution to your problem. The Atlas orthogonal technique offers a gentle and precise adjustment with no twisting of the neck or spine. Pennington Wellness offers a family-friendly atmosphere.
Trust our Grammy. What do you do?
We've all been there, out and about, and you see someone and you just can't seem to remember their name. This happens to just about all of us, but it shouldn't with your doctor. Today, it is so convenient to see a provider who doesn't know your name, let alone your medical history. Your family needs a primary care provider who knows you and meets all of your family's needs. Jane's Family Practice is now open and located on Master Street in Corbin. Stop in for school physicals, women's care, men's health screenings, regular checkups, and when you just aren't feeling your best. Call and schedule an appointment today with Jane's Family Practice at 280-4000. That's 280-4000.
Summer is here, and the deal on the iPhone 12 mini just got even hotter at Appalachian Wireless. The iPhone 12 mini comes with massive features and is the perfect pocket size. Best of all, Appalachian Wireless is offering the iPhone 12 mini for just $1 with a 2-year contract. Good things do come in small packages, and it's the iPhone 12 mini on the region's best network. But don't wait. This deal won't last long. We are you. We are Appalachian Wireless.
In the T107 broadcast booth as the high school seniors bidding adieu to the home field at homecoming festivities, or as a lot of football coaches call it, the Mickey Mouse stuff.
That's right. That's right.
But nonetheless, halftime, Corbin up big, 21-10 right now. They were up 21-0 to start this football game. Pioneers kind of chipping away at that lead and almost, with the ball back, could cut this to 21-17 to start the second half. So a very critical possession to restart this football game.
Yeah, exactly. You look at that score, like you mentioned, Hounds up 21-0. Hounds kind of in the driver's seat, but the Pioneers in that second quarter, kind of found a little bit of the running game, a little bit of the screen game, and scratch and clawed and fought back in this football game to get the score to 21-10. So you just said it, Ronnie. The Pioneers get the football coming out of half. So, with that 21-10 lead by the Hounds, this possession is a huge possession coming out of the half for the Hounds defense and the Pioneers offense. So, we've always talked about how Coach Greer, Coach Elam makes those halftime adjustments, always do a great job. So, look for the Hounds offense, Hounds defense especially, to try to get the 3 and out and get the football back to the Hounds high-powered offense.
Defensively, it looks like the adjustment's rather simple. I mean, the Pioneers opened up the football game, first 4 or 5 possessions in a 4-wide receiver look. They brought the tight end in,
yes,
utilized the quarterback as a running option. You're basically defending the I formation.
That's right.
With the 6 players in the box with those 2 high safeties. The numbers have been off. So
That's
you just
right.
look for an adjustment, a simple adjustment, maybe walking one of those safeties down into a linebacker spot, and maybe the numbers kind of rebalance themselves. The problem is you make those adjustments at halftime. Half your players are out on the field at homecoming
That's right.
now.
That's right. Exactly. The homecoming exactly can affect that. But, you mentioned the box. We always talk about an 8-man box, a 7-man box, like we mentioned earlier. Like you said, you bring the tight end on offense. That changes the box count. So the Hounds, need to get that extra defender up there to make the play, to make the hit, and, kind of get the Pioneers stopped in the running game. So, we saw the leading rusher, Jaden Lawson. He's rushed for 69 carries, 365 yards this season for the Pioneers, doing a good job in that second quarter. So Hounds defense need to dial in and get Lawson stopped.
We'll talk about the defensive adjustments need to be made, go over some halftime stats and keys to locking this one up and moving on to 6-0 when we return. Right now we're at homecoming here, so not a lot of action going on the field. We're cut away for more corporate sponsor time. Again, your score, Corbin 21, Simon Kenton 10. We'll be back in 5 more minutes. You're listening to Red Hound Football on T107.
What's up, y'all? This is Chase Rice hanging outdoors with an ice-cold Mountain Dew. It's easy to tell who really loves the outdoors. For one thing, there's a rack on your car and a hitch on the back of your truck. There's a garage full of toys from wakeboards to dirt bikes. And there's a cooler full of Mountain Dew, always at the ready. Because when it's time to get out and do, hit the lake or the deer stand, a cooler of Mountain Dew, that's as important a piece of outdoor gear as your four-wheeler or your fishing rod. Mountain Dew. Do the do.
What's your favorite thing about football time in Corbin? The hometown pride, the sound of the cannon that echoes through downtown Corbin with every point scored? Or is it the tradition of taking your family to Mi Casa before the game? In Corbin, it's all about tradition, and that's what you can count on at Mi Casa Mexican Restaurant. A family-friendly, delicious meal with every visit. Stop in and enjoy their patio and weekly specials. Good luck and go Hounds from Mi Casa of Corbin.
Hometown Bank is proud of their name because Hometown Bank is proud of the hometowns they're in. In fact, their name is their mission, which is to take care of the communities in which they work and live. Hometown Bank is always here to help, so if you're buying a house, remodeling your kitchen, or need a home equity loan to combine other debt, come see Hometown Bank and find out how easy working with a Hometown Bank can be. Visit the Hometown Bank nearest you. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
When you've been in business since 1954, you have to be doing something right. At Owens Auto Repair, they believe in honesty, service, and that hard work can still get you somewhere. Owens offers a complete line of truck and auto parts, as well as their custom-made hydraulic hoses, weather guard toolboxes, utility beds, and Sherwin-Williams auto paint. They also offer auto repair for cars, trucks, and RVs, and of course have top name brand tires. And they do towing and recovery. Owens Auto Repair, located just down from Corbin High School on Cumberland Falls Highway.
Our world has dramatically changed over the past couple of years. We've all had to adjust to these changing times. But one thing has not changed is the fact that the Hart family and Tri-County Cycle Sales is still serving southeastern Kentucky with the same quality products and service after the sale since 1968. Honda, Yamaha, Kawasaki, and Polaris are the biggest names in off-road adventure and still can be found at Tri-County Cycle Sales. For your next ATV or side-by-side, stop by the place where time has stood still. Tri-County Cycle Sales, located between Corbin and London on US 25 across from Kentucky Outdoorsman.
The magical season of fall is here with cooler temperatures and shorter days, and that means two things: hunting season and it's football time in the bluegrass. So before you plan your next hunting or fishing trip, stop by southeastern Kentucky's #1 hunting and fishing headquarters, Kentucky Outdoorsman. It's national buying power with the same family-owned small-town customer service to which you've become accustomed. Get equipped for your next outdoor adventure at Kentucky Outdoorsman, located on US Highway 25 between Corbin and London next to Tri-County Cycle Sales.
Would you rather eat in the car or eat at the dinner table at home?
Rather eat in the car.
You can turn on some tunes, dancing, eating. You know how weird we'd look if we did this at the kitchen table?
Sonic Wacky Pack.
Right now, we just having a good time.
I need a Mocha Crunch Blast, please. You got it.
I'm on the Mocha Fudge.
We're gonna need more espresso chunks.
Order up.
Sonic Mocha Crunch Blast.
Dreaming about enjoying time on the lake but need a boat? Or planning a road trip but not sure which RV is right for you and your family? Wildcat RV and Marine can help. With our selection of Keystone and Crossroads RVs and Mercury Low boats, we can get you in the great outdoors. We're a family-owned RV and Marine dealer with professionally trained sales and service departments. Our staff is committed to helping you find the perfect RV or boat and keep it on the road or in the water. Wildcat RV and Marine, just off I-75 in Corbin, or online at wildcatrvandmarine.com.
If you're looking for a better night's sleep, Sammy's Furniture has the perfect mattress for you. Whether it's combining the support of an innerspring mattress with the comfort of memory foam with a Sealy hybrid, or the all-night cooling of the new Tempur-Pedic Breeze, or the unparalleled design and craftsmanship of a Stearns & Foster, Sammy's Furniture is here to help you find a mattress that won't break your back or your budget. That's Sammy's Furniture and Sleep Shop, open 7 days a week. Visit our store to find your perfect mattress today.
Hello, I'm Dr. Deidre Pennington, and I invite you to discover the difference at Pennington Wellness, Chiropractic, and Massage. We offer digital x-ray with instant imaging for the most specific solution to your problem. The Atlas orthogonal technique offers a gentle and precise adjustment with no twisting of the neck or spine. Pennington Wellness has a friendly staff and relaxing spa-like atmosphere.
Trust our Grammy. We do.
We've all been there, out and about, and you see someone and you just can't seem to remember their name. This happens to just about all of us, but it shouldn't with your doctor. Today it is so convenient to see a provider who doesn't know your name, let alone your medical history. Your family needs a primary care provider who knows you and meets all of your family's needs. Jane's Family Practice is now open and located on Master Street in Corbin. Stop in for school physicals, women's care, men's health screenings, regular checkups, and when you just aren't feeling your best. Call and schedule an appointment today with Jane's Family Practice at 280-4000. That's 280-4000.
Season.
That's right.
For the Hounds. So definitely some adjustments. Stats. Cam Combs' completion percentage has really taken a hit tonight in the drop category. He's 4 of 12. A lot of these passes have been right on the button, though. 4 of 12 for 98 yards. Does have a touchdown, no turnovers. Combs has also kept the ball 3 times for 29 yards, Mills has 6 carries for 14. Seth Huff, 9 for 148 and 2 touchdowns. Hope you started him on your fantasy team. And
That's
Xander
right.
Curry
That's
kept
right.
1 for 3 yards on a reverse play on the carry. And the receiving department, Stewart's hauled in 1 catch for 5. Hunter Newberry's called in 1 for 13. And Travion Longmire's caught 2 catches for 80 yards, one of those being a 67-yard touchdown strike for the 6. Corbin has 3 penalties, 35 yards. Simon Kenton been tagged for 2 for 10. 2 turnovers on the night forced by the Red Hound defensive unit, both an interception and a fumble return for the Red Hounds. And all in all, a good half just marred by that second half, late second quarter. Simon Kenton kind of imposing its will on this Red Hound unit. Definitely some adjustments need to be made in that box in terms of defending the run, especially when the quarterback running that kind of scheme.
Yeah, exactly. Hounds had things in order, up 21-0 like you talked about, and then Simon Kenton kind of settled in a little bit and, came back, run the football, threw a few little short passes, but really behind Chase Crone and Jaden Lawson kind of leading the way for the Pioneers, doing a good job to kind of get the Pioneers in gear a little bit, and have been able to put 10 points on the board late in the second quarter. So, we come here at halftime, Hounds still with the lead, 21-10. Right here at the half, but you're right, Ronnie. Hounds defense, Hounds offense, need to make a couple adjustments. I'm sure, after the halftime festivities, Coach Greer, Coach Elam in there got stuff on the board, making those adjustments left, making those adjustments right. And, you look at the stats, and, you mentioned Seth Huff, 9 carries, 148 yards, 2 touchdowns. You want to keep feeding the ball to Huff, the leading rusher on the night. Just doing a great job in between the tackles. The Hounds defense, want to settle in, figure out the puzzle, figure out how to stop Jaden Lawson, the leading rusher for the Pioneers, and Chase Crone. He can throw it, he can run it. So dial in on those 2 football players defensively and try to get the Pioneers stopped.
The big adjustment, and now the question mark becomes, of course, we've seen Zane Hammock come in at outside linebacker, capable player for this Red Hound defensive unit, but they need to make adjustments as is. Probably needed to put another defender in the box anyways to slow down this running game. So that calls into question now the issue of depth. What does Corbin have in the linebacking core off the bench? So, and that's going to be a question we'll have to answer and out of the break.
Yeah, exactly. Coming out right here at halftime, and you mentioned Zane Hammock. He's played good football, last year and even first game or 2 this year. So
he was leading in tackles at the half during the pigskin.
That's right. So who's going to replace Bryson Batch? We look for Zane Hammock, probably the guy to come in there and step it up for the Hounds, who's done a great job. Early this season, and then last year. So, but again, look for the Hounds. Got to get that box matched up. Get Lawson, get Crone stopped. And almost really, we talked about the points. The Pioneers have put up a lot of points on the board. So you look at the scoreboard, only 10 points at halftime. You've done a pretty good job to kind of get the Pioneers stopped. But again, Hounds defense need to get that box question answered and get that running game, stop between Crone and Lawson and force the Pioneers to try to push the ball downfield with the passing attack.
Again, Corbin 21, Simon Kenton 10. We'll be cutting away for more corporate sponsor time. We'll be back in 3 minutes. You're listening to Red Hound Football on T107.
Summer is here, and the deal on the iPhone 12 mini just got even hotter at Appalachian Wireless. The iPhone 12 mini comes with massive features and is the perfect pocket size. Best of all, Appalachian Wireless is offering the iPhone 12 mini for just $1 with a 2-year contract. Good things do come in small packages, and it's the iPhone 12 mini on the region's best network. But don't wait. This deal won't last long. We are you. We are Appalachian Wireless.
What's up, y'all? This is Chase Rice hanging outdoors with an ice-cold Mountain Dew. It's easy to tell who really loves the outdoors. For one thing, there's a rack on your car and a hitch on the back of your truck. There's a garage full of toys from wakeboards to dirt bikes. And there's a cooler full of Mountain Dew, always at the ready. Because when it's time to get out and do, hit the lake or the deer stand, a cooler of Mountain Dew, that's as important a piece of outdoor gear as your four-wheeler or your fishing rod. Mountain Dew. Do the do.
What's your favorite thing about football time in Corbin? The hometown pride, the sound of the cannon that echoes through downtown Corbin with every point scored? Or is it the tradition of taking your family to Mi Casa before the game? In Corbin, it's all about tradition, and that's what you can count on at Mi Casa Mexican Restaurant. A family-friendly, delicious meal with every visit. Stop in and enjoy their patio and weekly specials. Good luck and go Hounds from Mi Casa of Corbin.
Hometown Bank is proud of their name because Hometown Bank is proud of the hometowns they're in. In fact, their name is their mission, which is to take care of the communities in which they work and live. Hometown Bank is always here to help, so if you're buying a house, remodeling your kitchen, or need a home equity loan to combine other debt, come see Hometown Bank and find out how easy working with a Hometown Bank can be. Visit the Hometown Bank nearest you. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
When you've been in business since 1954, you have to be doing something right. At Owens Auto Repair, they believe in honesty, service, and that hard work can still get you somewhere. Owens offers a complete line of truck and auto parts, as well as their custom-made hydraulic hoses, weather guard toolboxes, utility beds, and Sherwin-Williams auto paint. They also offer auto repair for cars, trucks, and RVs, and of course have top name brand tires. And they do towing and recovery. Owens Auto Repair, located just down from Corbin High School on Cumberland Falls Highway.
Our world has dramatically changed over the past couple of years. We've all had to adjust to these changing times. But one thing has not changed is the fact that the Hart family and Tri-County Cycle Sales is still serving southeastern Kentucky with the same quality products and service after the sale since 1968. Honda, Yamaha, Kawasaki, and Polaris are the biggest names in off-road adventure and still can be found at Tri-County Cycle Sales. For your next ATV or side-by-side, stop by the place where time has stood still. Tri-County Cycle Sales, located between Corbin and London on US 25 across from Kentucky Outdoorsman.
Hey,
thank you.
We'll be cutting back out too. I think we'll probably add 3 more
Will they
minutes.
give us
I don't know.
3 more, yeah.
We'll see. Half action. Corbin on top, 21-10 over the visiting Pioneers of Simon Kenton. An 11-point lead for the Hounds, evaporated from a 21-point lead, and now the Hounds with Bryson Bad, being told he did break his ankle.
Oh, my gosh.
So probably going to be out possibly the remainder of the season. That's a big loss. The most athletic defender in the box.
Yes.
Or at least in the box for the Hounds. So that's going to be a loss they'll have to fill. Probably look for Zane Hammock to fill that spot. He started the football season at that position, maybe the opposite side. But he's definitely an experienced player. So you're subbing in a guy with experience. But, again, the X factor being Corbin's going to have to drop a couple more defenders down in the box to slow down this running attack.
Yeah, I think so. We talked about it before the break. I mean, Simon Kenton added that tight end, added, another blocker in the box, and got some things going. So, you've got to be able to make an adjustment. You've got to be able to stop the run. So, Bryson Batt, unfortunately, tough injury right there, may be out for the season. We'll probably get some notice on that as well as the game goes on. But, Coach Greer, great defensive coach. That's what he's known for. That's what Coach Greer hangs his hat on. So, no doubt Coach Greer comes out right here, with the Pioneers getting the ball at halftime, makes a great adjustment, makes a couple changes, in the front, in the box count, and gets the job done.
Teams again on the field warming up. Look for them to add 3 more minutes to the clock, and they will. See the official call from the field. So we'll take our final commercial break before the second half action gets underway. Again, your score, Corbin 21, Simon Kenton 10. We'll be back in 2.5 minutes. You're listening to Red Hound Football on T107.
The magical season of fall is here with cooler temperatures and shorter days, and that means 2 things: hunting season and it's football time in the Bluegrass. So before you plan your next hunting or fishing trip, stop by southeastern Kentucky's #1 hunting and fishing headquarters, Kentucky Outdoorsman. It's national buying power with the same family-owned small-town customer service to which you've become accustomed. Get equipped for your next outdoor adventure at Kentucky Outdoorsman, located on US Highway 25 between Corbin and London, next to Tri-County Cycle Sales.
Hi, welcome to Sonic. May I take your order? 2 Sonic grilled cheeseburgers.
I'm on it.
Order up.
Sonic grilled cheeseburger ready for pickup.
Would you rather eat in the car or eat at the dinner table at home?
Rather eat in the car.
You can turn on some tunes. Dancing. Eating. You know how weird we'd look if we did this at the kitchen table?
Sonic Wacky Pack.
Right now, we just having a good time.
Dreaming about enjoying time on the lake but need a boat? Or planning a road trip but not sure which RV is right for you and your family? Wildcat RV and Marine can help. With our selection of Keystone and Crossroads RVs and Mercury Low boats, we can get you in the great outdoors. We're a family-owned RV and Marine dealer with professionally trained sales and service departments. Our staff is committed to helping you find the perfect RV or boat and keep it on the road or in the water. Wildcat RV and Marine, just off I-75 in Corbin, or online at wildcatrvandmarine.com.
If you're looking for a better night's sleep, Sammy's Furniture has the perfect mattress for you. Whether it's combining the support of an innerspring mattress with the comfort of memory foam with a Sealy hybrid, or the all-night cooling of the new Tempur-Pedic Breeze, or the unparalleled design and craftsmanship of a Stearns & Foster, Sammy's Furniture is here to help you find a mattress that won't break your back or your budget. That's Sammy's Furniture and Sleep Shop, open 7 days a week. Visit our store to find your perfect mattress today.
Hello, I'm Dr. Deidre Pennington, and I invite you to discover the difference at Pennington Wellness, Chiropractic, and Massage. We offer digital x-ray with instant imaging for the most specific solution to your problem. The Atlas orthogonal technique offers a gentle and precise adjustment with no twisting of the neck or spine. Pennington Wellness offers a family-friendly atmosphere.
Trust our Grammy. We do.
Corbin on top 21-10 over the visiting Pioneers of Simon Kenton High School. Again, 21-10 your score. Simon Kenton set to receive the football here out of the break, and Corbin got to make some adjustments at the half. Of course, the second quarter belonged to the Pioneers, rattled off 10 unanswered, did Simon Kenton. And again, Corbin lost the services of Bryson Batt down with a broken ankle. So you got to make some adjustments. Next man up mentality for the defense, but also look for probably another linebacker to step on the field, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so. And, to me, Ronnie, the mentality of the whole football game kind of changed late in that second quarter. Like we said, Hounds up 21-0 and, kind of in control. And Simon Kenton going 3 and out. But then they found something, and, they added the run game a little bit different. They added an extra blocker up front, and they kind of, got back in this football game. So, to close the door a little bit and make it 21-10 right here at the half. So, you're right. Bryson Batt down right there. Good to see who the Hounds put in here. But I expect Coach Greer and company in the Hounds defense, they forced 2 turnovers in that first half. You just kind of figure out, make adjustments, come out here and get this stop and turn the football back over to the offense.
Hounds back out on the field. Baker looking to kick it away to this return unit. Haven't seen a whole lot of action in the special teams arena. All kickoffs so far have been registered as touchbacks for the junior kicker. Number 17, Chase Williams, the Pioneer leading receiver, back deep to field the kick. Baker will approach and put the toe to it. It's a high end-over-end kick, kicks it over the arch of the lights. Fielded at the 1-yard line, up to the 10. Up to about the 20-yard line, about where it would be anyways, actually up to the 25. Decent little return there. Sets up the Pioneers 1st and 10, where they'll take over for their first possession of the half. Flag down on the play near the Corbin sideline.
Yeah, exactly. A flag across the way. Not sure what the flag is, but, Jacob Baker getting that high kick right there instead of the touchback, giving the Hounds special teams unit time to get down the field. But looks like personal foul right here. Simon Kenton, Ronnie, again, starting off with a personal foul. So, the flag goes in the way of the Hounds right here.
Well, that's good to see.
Exactly. You pin, not really a great return, but kind of a little bit, kind of sets up the Pioneers in decent field position. But then you get the personal foul and really gets you backed up in the shadow of your own end zone if you're the Pioneers.
Can assess the penalty half the distance to the goal. Back to the 12-yard line where the Pioneers will take over 1st and 10. Ball on the left hash, trips to the wide side of the field. Tight end in the football game. He's resting to the left. Pistol formation for the Pioneers. Crone handoff on the stretch play. Got some wiggle room. Tackled from behind right around the 18-yard line. Up to the 19. Pickup of about 5 or 6 on the carry. That's the first time we've seen them run away from the tight end. Now they're running towards the wide side or the trip set.
Yeah, I think so. Just trying to make a couple adjustments right there. And, you said it at halftime, Ronnie. You called it right. Number 37, Zane Hammock, in for Bryson Batt at that rover position, playing that outside linebacker spot. But good to see Zane Hammock out there and make that hit.
Design quarterback run for the Pioneers. Hammock in on the tackle right off the bench. Knocks him down right around the line of scrimmage. Forward progress going to put him up to the 21-yard line. Sets up 3rd and short for the Pioneers.
Yeah, 3rd and short right here. Again, Zane Hammock coming up to make a hit. But, again, these hidden plays right here, 3rd and about a yard. See if the Hounds can get the stop.
Up to the line quickly. tight end in the game. Left tackle takes off prematurely. That's a costly 5 yards for the Pioneer offense.
Yeah, a good break again for the Hounds. So it gets the Hounds right here defense instead of a 3rd and about a yard to 3rd and 6. So, a good break for the Hounds defense to get that penalty. And again, we always talk about those big plays and those big pass plays, those big run plays, but the little hidden plays a lot of times add up really quick, especially early in the football game.
3rd and 6, Hounds showing blitz, and they bring it screen play hauled in. Not going to be caught, going to be disrupted on contact. Brody Wells out there in space to disrupt the play.
Yeah, really good job right there out in space by Brody Wells. But, yeah, you're right, another flag down. So see what the flag is right here.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, going against Corbin. Did not see it. I was tracking the football. Personal foul, going to be an automatic first down for the Pioneers.
Yeah, exactly. The Hounds got the break there with the offsides penalty, but then again get a bad break with the roughing the passer. So right here, Pioneers move the football with the penalty and have the football right around their own 31-yard line, 1st and 10.
Flags have been flying to start the second half here. 1st and 10 for the Pioneers. Tight end checked in the football game. Fakes the handoff. Now going to go with the read option up to the 35. Tackle down at the 40. Again, Hammock, another tackle from him at the rover spot. I said he's a capable outside player. He's a starter on most football teams.
Oh, exactly. Zane Hammock can move. He's a great athlete and, makes tackles in space. We just saw it right there. But, again, Simon Kenton moving really quick.
2nd and 1. Handoff goes up the middle. Not a lot of running room there. He's going to be drugged down to the dirt. Knocked down at the 40-yard line. No gain on the play. Sets up another 3rd and 1.
Yeah, a huge play right there. Linebacker Mikey Neal comes up, makes the big hit in the backfield along with big Franklin West and Braden Reynolds up in there, defensive tackle. So good job by the Hounds front 4. And then Mikey Neal finishing off the runner with the Mike linebacker at the Mine linebacker spot. So 3rd and short right here. And again, Simon Kenton looking to attack quickly.
3rd and 1. Remain in the shotgun. Quarterback keeper on the read option. He's got the first down up to the 43-yard line. Well, he does a good job on the read option because he's not looking for just a big explosive play. He knows where the distance is and kind of gets down after he gets that distance. That's really smart heads-up play. He's probably also seen a lot of his teammates getting massacred out there.
That's right.
Secondary. I would get down too. 1st and 10 at the Simon Kenton 43-yard line. Hounds showing blitz, and they'll bring it. Read option play. Quarterback keeper up the gut. Going to be tripped up at the 49-yard line. Gain of about 6 on the carry. And again, this option offense has tended to be a little of Achilles tendon for this Red Hound defensive unit.
Yeah, exactly. You got to play good, smart, disciplined football, and then you got to dominate the line of scrimmage. And Chase Crone for the Pioneers has done a great job running the offense, especially into this 3rd quarter.
Pistol set. Handoff up the gut. He's in the 50 at the 45. Still dragging Red Hounds with him up to the 42-yard line. That's enough for another first down, Pioneers.
Yeah, Seth Mills, the safety for the Hounds, coming up making the hit. And again, looks like Simon Kenton just, using that, that read option, Crone and company and Lawson and number 26, Caleb Blyer doing a great job.
Pioneers going to remain in the pistol. Handoff up the middle. Got some running room there. Forward progress. Is going to flip over a defensive lineman. Up to the 37-yard line. Gain of about 3 or 4 on the carry. Sets up 2nd and 6.
Yeah, Peyton Jordan making the hit, but, we've talked about it all night, Ronnie, but that tight end, number 87 for the Pioneers, Gavin Riley, a really good blocking tight end for the run game of the Pioneers.
2nd down. Quick pass out to 30, slips a tackle down to the 20, tackle from behind at the 17-yard line. Going to pick up about 20 yards on the pitch and catch. And again, the Pioneers on the move offensively.
Yeah, moving quick. Pioneers can score in a hurry. And again, just using the read option, using the pass, and Crone really good at running the offense.
Trips formation in the game, toss sweep, evades a tackle, almost tackled from behind. Going to make a positive play out of it, pick up about 6 or 7 on the carry.
The Pioneers, again, just doing a good job spreading the Hounds out and, kind of getting them in space. So, just going to have to make tackles in space, going to have to press the line of scrimmage right here.
2nd and 2 in Red Hound territory. Fakes the handoff, read option play, nothing there. Going to be tackled in the backfield.
Yeah, good job, Franklin West, number 74, Mikey Neal, coming up, making the hit and doing a good job. Finally getting the Pioneers slowed down a little bit, but again, bringing up a 3rd down, a big play right here. 3rd and 2 for the Hounds defense. So, again, see how the Hounds adjust to try to stop the Pioneer offense.
3rd and 2 trip set with the tight end. Handoff goes up the gut. He's going to walk it into the end zone for a touchdown. We got a dogfight on our hands.
Yeah, exactly. And, almost that drive to me, Ronnie, looked like, the Pioneers just kind of got in a little bit of a rhythm there. They were throwing the ball once or twice. They ran the ball outside, ran the ball inside. QB keeper, Lawson with the run. Number 26 looked like Caleb Blyer with the run. So just doing a good job to kind of mix up the offense for the Pioneers.
On to add the extra point. Kick is up and away, and it's good. So 7:48 remaining in the 3rd quarter of play. Corbin's lead shrinks 21-17. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Red Hound Football on T107. Yep.
Man, they just kind of got rolling in it.
I think we just we quit a little too soon.
I think so.
Can't lose this.
This is where we live. Always says, go Hounds.
7:48 remaining in the 3rd quarter of play. Corbin's lead has shrunk 21-17. Simon Kenton rattling off 17 unanswered. We got a football game on our hands.
Yeah, exactly. Hounds up 21-0 early, and Simon Kenton come roaring back, 17 unanswered points. So, Hounds defense have to get the running game and those questions answered right here on this next defensive stand.
Petty on to kick it away for the Pioneers. Low line drive kick, going to careen towards the out-of-bounds marker, but does not go out. Going to be picked up at the 17 by Mills. Heading towards home sideline, trying to reverse field, throws the stiff arm and clears the 30. Flags come a-flying on the play behind the run. I think that's going to be a block in the back. Flags sitting right around the 22-yard line.
Yeah, I think so. Officials throwing the flag right there, so the Hounds going to be backed up in the shadow of their end zone, probably exactly the worst field position of the night. So, things kind of spiraling a little bit right here for the Hounds offense and the Hounds defense. So, you're Coach Elam and the offense for the Hounds. You need to respond. You need to answer the question right here and, move the football. So, we talked about it at halftime. Seth Huff, 9 carries, 148 yards, 2 touchdowns in that first half. Wouldn't doubt it a bit if the Hounds don't lean on Seth Huff to run the football right here.
Definitely need a long physical drive here to take the wind out of the sails. Momentum has shifted to Simon Kenton here. Hounds clinging to a 4-point lead as they operate 1st and 10 out of the shotgun on their own 12-yard line. Low snap, dug up, give straight ahead to Huff. Got some running room, barrels ahead to the 18-yard line, picks up 6 on the carry.
Yeah, again, good run right there, right out of the gate. First down for Huff, 5 or 6 yards right out of the right side. And, the Simon Kenton, the Pioneers, got a 4-man front in there with that Mike linebacker. But offensive line for the Hounds really doing a good job up front, blocking for Huff right there.
Hounds up the line quickly, 2nd and 4. Low snap again, sets the throw. Now he's flushed out of the pocket, looking to run it himself. Tucks it at the 25, barrels ahead. The 26-yard line. Nice 8-yard gain there from your quarterback. Picks up the first down for the Red Hounds.
Yeah, really good decision right there. Cam Combs rolls out to the left side. And, the Hounds needed some positive momentum right there. And they move the chains, get the first down. So great job by the Hounds offense.
1st and 10 at the 25. Same set, 4 wide receivers, twins split out each way. Huff is checked in at running back. 2 high safeties on the field. Looks like a 6-man box. Probably looking at a run play here. Going to be a rocket screen. Fired to Stewart in the flat. Good block picked up. Takes a shot in space. Comes to rest at the 30-yard line. Picks up about 5 on the screen reception.
Yeah, I was like you, Ronnie. Thought the box count, denoted would be a run right there, but the Hounds throw out the rocket screen. Seth Huff, like you said, makes a great block, but the receiver for the Hounds unable to shake loose. So, still 2 or 3 yards right there, and almost, you want to lean on the time of possession, lean on the Hounds' big offensive line, kind of, again, control the time of possession for the Hounds' offense.
2nd and 6. Quarterback keeper up the gut. Not a lot of running room there. Second effort will give him some positive yardage. Surges ahead to about the 34. So 5-yard gain there, and he was hit at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, exactly. Cam Combs doing a great job to run. I was like you. I thought he was stuffed at the line of scrimmage, but, gets it to 3rd and really manageable right here. So really good run by Cam Combs, the quarterback for the Hounds.
3rd and 2 or so. Hard count from Combs, defensive line. Not interested in that. 4 wide remains on the field. He'll reset Huff to his right, the running back. Huff's going to get the call. He bobbles the handoff. That causes him to lose a little momentum. He's going to be bottled up at the 35-yard line. Picked up about 2 yards. He's about a half a yard shy of the first down yard. Now big decision from Tommy Greer.
Yeah, huge decision right here. 4th and really short.
Go for it.
Yeah, it looks like Cam Combs going to stay out. The Hounds going to stay out in their own territory and maybe try to run and pick up this first down. So
bringing in the goal line package.
Yep, the big beef right here. 4th and about a yard and a half. And, Hounds need some positive momentum, need another first down, need to, keep the football. Coach Greer may run right there behind number 74 on that left side behind Franklin West.
Mills in the Wildcat position. Brings in Longmire in motion, fakes the jet sweep, puts the spin move in the backfield. Big hole to the right side at the 50, to the 40, at the 30. It's a foot race. Evades the tackler from behind. He's going to walk it into the end zone for the touchdown.
My goodness. Wow, I mean, Seth Mills, has the jet play action there across the middle, makes a couple moves, does the spin, hits the circle button on the Madden controller, and then hits to that right edge and goes big time for the touchdown down the right sideline. So really good decision right there. Just being an athlete, putting points on the board, and couldn't come at a better time to give the Hounds another touchdown.
Seth Mills from deep. 65 yards on the touchdown run. Baker on to add the extra point. Kick is up and away, and it's good. 4:15 remaining in the 3rd quarter of play. Corbin extends their lead 28-17. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Red Hound Football on T107.
We've all been there, out and about, and you see someone and you just can't seem to remember their name. This happens to just about all of us, but it shouldn't with your doctor. Today, it is so convenient to see a provider who doesn't know your name, let alone your medical history. Your family needs a primary care provider who knows you and meets all of your family's needs. Jane's Family Practice is now open and located on Master Street in Corbin. Stop in for school physicals, women's care, men's health screenings, regular checkups, and when you just aren't feeling your best. Call and schedule an appointment today with Jane's Family Practice at 280-4000. That's 280-4000.
4:15 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Corbin up 28-17 on the back of a 65-yard Seth Mills touchdown run on 4th and inches. I'm Ronnie Bowling with Jeff Barnett and Jenny Barnett in the T107 broadcast booth here at Campbell Field. Homecoming night. Hounds a little bit of trouble early here. Good response from the offense and Seth Mills. Baker on to kick it away. Blasts it off the tee, going to be spiraling towards the end zone where it's fielded for a touchback.
Yeah, there's a touchback right there by Jacob Baker and kind of sets the Hounds defense up right there. But you're exactly right, Ronnie. We see the Pioneers out of the half. They come out, down 21-10, respond, put points on the board. So, 21-17, the Hounds offense got to make plays, got to, kind of respond to the Pioneers. What do the Hounds do? They hit a big play right there on 4th and about 2, and Seth Mills takes it the distance to put a touchdown on the board for the Hounds. So really good job by the Hounds offense. Again, seeing if the Hounds defense right here can respond and get the Pioneers stopped.
1st and 10 at the Pioneer 20. 3 wide receivers in the football game. Fakes the handoff. Quarterback read option up the gut. Gain of 3 or 4 on the carry.
Yeah, another 3 or 4. The Hounds come out again in that front 4. That 4-man front looks like number 54, Joe Brown, the right defensive end for the Hounds, makes the hit. But, again, we always like to talk about the box count, and the Hounds need to even that up and get this stop.
Low snap. Fakes the handoff. Quarterback keeper on the read option. Bends back against the defense. Surges ahead up to the 37-yard line. Gain of about 13 on the quarterback keeper. That's enough for a Pioneer first down.
Yeah, look like number 6, Jacob Baker, coming up to make a hit and from his safety spot. So, again, Chase Crone and Lawson really doing a good job kind of mixing up the run game in there.
Pioneers go to the pistol set. Handoff up the gut. Not a lot of running room there. Tackled at the 41-yard line. Picks up 3 or 4 again on the carry. And this offense really being productive. But, Tommy Greer, he likes to do the bend-don't-break style of defense.
Yes, exactly. Sean Brummett making the hit. But you're right. If you're going to get 2 or 3 or 3 or 4, Coach Greer's just fine with that. And right there, the Pioneers doing just that.
Read option play. Quarterback trying to bounce outside. Not going to be there. Tackled at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the carry.
Yeah, look like Brandon Baker coming up making the hit. But there's that play right there that the Hounds defense, Coach Greer, always kind of depends on. You only gain a couple, so now you're looking at 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6. And then, you kind of got the Pioneers behind the chains a little bit. So look for Coach Greer to kind of dial up something right here on 3rd down.
3rd down. False start going to go against the Pioneers. Now makes it a 3rd and long.
Yeah, another good break right there for the Hounds defense. So, going to move the Pioneers back 5 yards, makes it about a 3rd and 10 right here. So just what Coach Greer kind of, like I said a minute ago, kind of looks to count on. You get that penalty, you get that real quick stop, and you get the Pioneers in 3rd and long. And, we've seen the Pioneers run the football, so now you're putting Crone in the position where he's probably got to throw the football.
3rd and 10, Pioneers remain in the trips. Lots of time, sets the throw, gets the ball out, wildly sails on him out of bounds. Reynolds was bearing down on him in the pocket. Now the Pioneers are going to have to punt the football.
Yeah, exactly. Good job by the Hounds defense to respond right there and force the 3 and out. You get the penalty, you get the good run stop. So forces Crone into throwing the ball and creates that 4th down. So Hounds defense does a good job to get the football back. So look for the Hounds offense. Come out and get some more football going right here.
Punt formation for the Pioneers. Slow snap, it is fielded. He puts a toe to it. High spiraling kick. Going to land and take a Pioneer roll inside the 20. Down to the 15-yard line where it will be killed dead. Nice kick for the Pioneers as the Hounds taking over on their own 15-yard line.
Yeah, good punt right there by the Pioneer special teams unit. But, again, just good to see the Hounds defense get the stop right there. We saw in that late in that second quarter and then the first possession out of the half, the Pioneers offense, really getting it going. So great to see the Hounds respond with a touchdown and then defense get the 3 and out and turn the ball over to the Hounds offense.
1st and 10, Combs opens in the shotgun with 4 wide receivers. Huff is his running back. Design quarterback keeper picks up a couple blocks, clears the 15, safely steps out of bounds at the 21. Gain of about 6 on the carry for Combs. 2nd and 4 for his offensive unit.
A really good job by Cam Combs, just, taking that gun snap, heading around the left side. Anytime your quarterback can run the football, you get that extra blocker, and the Hounds take advantage right there and get it to a 2nd and short right here.
2nd and about 3. Combs remains in the shotgun, 2-by-2 set. Stewart, Newberry, Curry, and Longmire all out wide receivers. Huff in at running back. He's moved to Combs' right, wide side of the field. Huff's going to get the carry up the middle. Tough yards, might have picked up a yard or 2 on the halfback dive. Brings up 3rd and inches.
Yeah, 3rd and inches right there. One of the very few times that you'll ever see Seth Huff just get a yard or 2 and right there get behind the big offensive line, trying to get that 1st down. But Hounds offense forced the 3rd down right here.
3rd and short. Corbin remains in the same formation. Continuing to try to draw the Pioneers off sides. Has not been successful in doing so. He'll reset Huff to the short side of the field. Pioneers showing blitz. Corbin going to keep it on the quarterback
There he
read and
goes.
explodes through the hole at the 40. It's a foot race. He's going to take it to the house at the 30. At the 20, Cam Combs going to walk it into the end zone for the touchdown.
Wow. Again, Cam Combs using the extra blocker. Huff leading the way around that left side and then just puts the gas pedal down, making a move around the left side. And just a huge, huge play for the Hounds offense and Cam Combs. Touchdown, Red Hounds.
Another good response from this Corbin offensive unit. Combs taking it in. That's 78 yards out.
I think so. Big, big run.
Drive started on their own 15, finished in the end zone. Baker on to add the extra point. Snap is down, kick is up and away. It's good. 1:14 left in the third quarter of play. Corbin up top, 35-17. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Red Hound Football on T107.
Summer is here, and the deal on the iPhone 12 mini just got even hotter at Appalachian Wireless. The iPhone 12 mini comes with massive features and is the perfect pocket size. Best of all, Appalachian Wireless is offering the iPhone 12 mini for just $1 with a 2-year contract. Good things do come in small packages, and it's the iPhone 12 mini on the region's best network. But don't wait. This deal won't last long. We are you. We are Appalachian Wireless.
Played great.
No.
1:14 left in the third quarter of play. Corbin leads 35-17 over the visiting Simon Kenton Pioneers. Homecoming week here. And Hounds have responded appropriately, blown this lead back open to a more comfortable deficit than that 4-point lead they had here just a few minutes ago. Combs striking from 78 yards out on the run. Baker on to kick it away for Corbin. Blasted off the tee. It's a high end-over-end kick, going to be fielded inbounds right around the 5-yard line. Up to the 10, up to the 20. Not much further. Finally brought to rest right around the 23-yard line. Good kick coverage there from the Red Hounds.
Yeah, really good kick coverage right there. The Combs getting the high ball right there on the kickoff, and then Hunter Upchurch hustling down, making the hit. So, and you're exactly right, Ronnie. A close football game right there, and then the Hounds break it open again to double the score pretty much at 35-17 with the big Cam Combs run. And we've talked about it. Anytime that quarterback keeps that football, it gives you that extra blocker. And I tell you what, Cam Combs showing the speed right there to outrun the Simon Kenton Pioneers to get to the end zone.
1st and 10 at the Pioneer 22-yard line. Crone operating out of the pistol. Rides the handoff up the middle. Not a lot of running room there. Might have picked up a yard.
Yeah, looked a lot better right there on the run game. Carter Sevier closing the door right there from his left defensive end spot. And, we've seen the Pioneers get, movement up front and get yards and yards. But I tell you what, the Hounds defensive line doing a good job to close the door on first down.
2nd and 9, 5 wide receivers on the field. Quarterback draw up the gut. Again, another pickup of maybe 2 or 3 up to the 25-yard line. Sets up 3rd and long for the Pioneer offense.
Yeah, another good job right there. Hounds defense looked like number 56 for the Hounds, Troy Faulkner up in there that time. But it's amazing to me, how that momentum plays in a football game. We saw the Pioneers move the football. Hounds double up the score right here, and all of a sudden, the running lanes start to shut down. So good job to bring up this 3rd down and about 5 or 6 for the Hounds defense.
Simon Kenton going to be content to take it into the 4th quarter as time expires here at 3 in the books and 1 to go. After 3 quarters of play, Corbin leads Simon Kenton 35-17. We'll be back in 60 seconds. You're listening to Red Hound Football on T107.
What's up, y'all? This is Chase Rice hanging outdoors with an ice-cold Mountain Dew. It's easy to tell who really loves the outdoors. For one thing, there's a rack on your car and a hitch on the back of your truck. There's a garage full of toys from wakeboards to dirt bikes. And there's a cooler full of Mountain Dew, always at the ready. Because when it's time to get out and do, hit the lake or the deer stand, a cooler of Mountain Dew, that's as important a piece of outdoor gear as your four-wheeler or your fishing rod. Mountain Dew. Do the do.
What's your favorite thing about football time in Corbin? The hometown pride, the sound of the cannon that echoes through downtown Corbin with every point scored? Or is it the tradition of taking your family to Mi Casa before the game? In Corbin, it's all about tradition, and that's what you can count on at Mi Casa Mexican Restaurant. A family-friendly, delicious meal with every visit. Stop in and enjoy their patio and weekly specials. Good luck and go Hounds from Mi Casa of Corbin.
I think they are. I can't tell.
Yeah. Has Arkansas lost yet?
No, they're 8th in the country.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
They blasted everybody so far.
Suey.
At the start of the fourth quarter, Corbin leads 35-17 over the visiting Pioneers of Simon Kenton High School. Homecoming here for the Hounds, trying to close it out and move on to 6-0 on the season. I'm Ronnie Bowling with Jeff Barnett and Jenny Barnett in the T107 broadcast booth here at Campbell Field. And right now, the Pioneers staring down the barrel of a long 3rd and 6. Crone in the shotgun, tight trips to the right. He's going to roll towards those trips. Fires downfield, intercepted by Hammock at the 30. Down to the 20, still rumbling ahead to the 25-yard line. We talked about one of the key factors for what this team needs to answer to at the half. Zane Hammock coming in for the injured Bryson Batt. Comes up big with the 3rd turnover of the football game.
Huge play right there, Zane Hammock. We saw him come in at halftime for Bryson Batt, and you're right, Ronnie. He's very experienced. He played a lot last year, played a lot first of the year. Zane Hammock coming in. Hounds don't miss a beat. Get another turnover. So tip your hat right there to Hounds number 37, Zane Hammock on defense to force the 3rd turnover of this football game.
Hounds will take over 1st and 10. At the Simon Kenton 25-yard line. 2nd interception from this secondary in this game. Turnover number 17
think
on
so.
the season?
That's right.
Wow.
I think so, yeah. Man.
17 forced turnovers in 6 football games.
Yeah, just unreal. I mean, the defense is playing lights out, offense doing what they do, and then, special teams, Hounds really rolling right now.
Combs going to operate out of the shotgun. Got a little bit of discussion from the officials here. Not sure what's the cause for the conference, but nonetheless, it's 1st down Corbin in Simon Kenton territory, already starting in the red zone.
Yeah, exactly. Best field position, of course, for the night for the Hounds offense, but you're right. Not sure what the Hounds, what the officials are talking about, but looks like Hounds going to reset right here on 1st down.
Hammock actually going to check in offensively. Plays tight end as well for the Hounds. Carry up the middle, going to Huff. He's going to shred through a couple tackles down to the 11-yard line. Good carry there.
Yeah, really good run right there. Seth Huff, leading the Hounds in that first half with close to 150 yards rushing and a couple touchdowns. And, just being an old school guy, I love to see, lining up in there and, just running the football. So good hard run by Seth Huff.
2nd about 8. Huff going to get the carry again, bounce out to the outside, now puts his foot in the dirt, going to reverse field, picks up a block from his quarterback, a block from the backside. Wide receiver going to walk it into the end zone for a touchdown. Wow. Started off as a handoff to the right sideline, reverses field, finishes in the left side of the end zone.
Exactly. I mean, how do you describe that right there? I mean, like you said, just, makes people miss all over the football field, picks up a great block on that left side. So, again, just Seth Huff showing how great of a football player and a great of a running back the Hounds got sitting back there at that position. So great run, great touchdown for Seth Huff.
Hat trick for Huff on the night, his 3rd rushing touchdown of the evening. Baker on to add the extra point to extend it to 42. Kick is up and away, and it's good. 11-11 remaining in the game. Corbin up 42-17. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Red Hound Football on T107. Well,
Hometown Bank is proud of their name because Hometown Bank is proud of the hometowns they're in. In fact, their name is their mission, which is to take care of the communities in which they work and live. Hometown Bank is always here to help, so if you're buying a house, remodeling your kitchen, or need a home equity loan to combine other debt, come see Hometown Bank and find out how easy working with a Hometown Bank can be. Visit the Hometown Bank nearest you. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
11-11 remaining in the football game. Make-A-Wish, Corbin up 42-17. Their wish is to be 6-0
That's right.
on the season, well on their way. Seth Huff with the hat trick third touchdown run of the game. He takes it in from about 11 yards out, but it was an impressive 11 yards.
Oh, as impressive 11 yards as you'll see. I mean, like we said off air right there, I'd like to ask Mr. Seth Huff, number 22, how do you do that? So great run right there by Seth Huff to get in the end zone.
Baker on to kick it away for the Hounds. Ball teed up on the right hash. He'll approach and put the toe to it. High end-over-end kick, screaming towards the end zone, fielded in the front of the end zone for the touchback. Pioneers will take over 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line.
Yeah, good job, Jacob Baker, again getting the touchback, and 11 minutes, 11 seconds to go in this fourth quarter. Hounds huge lead, 42-17. So, defense, again, Coach Greer, kind of a master, if you will, at just kind of keeping the ball in front of you, bend but don't break, giving up no big plays. So Hounds really kind of in the driver's seat into this fourth quarter.
11-11 remaining in the game. Corbin up 42-17. They've scored 21 unanswered here in the second half to re-extend this lead. Crone in the shotgun. 3 wide receivers on the field. He's going to roll to the short side of the field. Gets popped a couple times, keeps on going, surges ahead down to the 30, picks up a first down for his football team.
Yeah, number 55, Sean Brummett, kind of in on the tackle there. Mikey Neal as well, and 2 or 3 other Hounds defense doing a good job. But, again, Pioneers moving the chains, but, just keep the big plays down to a minimum right here.
No huddle. Stretch play to the wide side of the field goes Lawson. Trying to find some running room, is not going to find it. Going to be pounded down to the dirt at the 30. Might have picked up a yard on the carry. Yeah,
exactly right there. Not a lot of running room. Hunter Upchurch looks like in on the tackle, doing a good job kind of in that defensive line rotation. The Hounds like to cycle in 2 or 3 guys in there. Hunter Upchurch doing a good job on the left defensive end.
Quick no-huddle read option play. Crone going to keep it himself, tripped up right around the 38-yard line. Picks up about 7 or 8 on the read option play. Sets up 3rd and short for this offensive unit.
Yeah, it looks like 3rd and about 1, 3rd and about 2 right here. A big play right here, Simon Kenton. I'm sure, the Pioneers in 4-down territory, down 42-17 in this fourth quarter.
3rd and about 2. Hounds showing blitz, and they bring it. Quarterback keeper up the gut. Forward progress, going to get him a first down. Barely snakes ahead right around the 41.5-yard line.
Yeah, I think so. Pioneers going to move the chains right here. And again, we talk about it all the time. Coach Greer, you move the football a little bit here, a little bit there. Just no big deal right there. Hounds defense doing a good job managing the football game on defense, especially, like we mentioned, forcing 3 turnovers tonight.
It's a team that really likes to throw the football, preference-wise. Not had a lot of success tonight. First down. Read option play up the gut. Going to pick up, again, another about 5 or 6 yard carry on the keeper. Clock will continue to run, though.
Yeah, Mikey Neal doing a good job on the hit right there. But you're right, Ronnie. The Pioneers like to throw the ball, but the Hounds, have shut down that passing game.
Quick to the line, pistol set. They like to run the stretch, and they do here. Gets up to the 50, picks up about 2 yards on the carry. And no more. Sets up another 3rd and short for this Pioneer offense.
Yeah, big number 53, Peyton Jordan, doing a good job at the defensive end spot, the right defensive end spot. The Hounds with the front 4 in there, and Mikey Neal, the Mike backer, in there on defense.
Pistol set again. Handoff up the middle. Got some running room. Going to be tripped up again from behind at the 45-yard line. Picks up about 5 on the carry. That's enough for a Simon Kenton first down.
Yeah, Brandon Baker on the stop right there. Saw the Hounds bring up Brody Wells on the blitz, but came up on the blitz on the right side of the defense. But the Pioneers run it on the opposite side. So look for the Hounds to kind of start tightening up things as the Pioneers move down the field.
They remain in the pistol. Opens up, missed a little confusion there. Opened up to the wrong side. Had to keep it. Paid for it. Going to be hit, but staggers forward to the original line of scrimmage.
Now and again, number 23, Brandon Baker bringing the blitz, and then number 53 looks like Peyton Jordan making the hit. So, the Hounds get that stop. We always talk about you want to get that stop and get the offense behind the chains. Right there it is, 2nd and 10 right here for the Pioneers.
Shotgun on 2nd down. Fakes the handoff. Read option play across the right side. Going to get up to about the 41-yard line. Might have picked up 2 or 3 on the carry. Now 3rd and long for this Pioneer unit.
Yeah, I think so. 2 or 3 yard gain right there. And, you know, you look at Chase Crone, you know, it's no wonder that he's got all those stats, you know, 19 touchdowns, 11 throwing, 8 rushing, and doing a good job right there on the read option and making the right read. But, again, looked like Braden Reynolds there to close the door, doing a good job on defense for the Hounds.
3rd and long for Simon Kenton. 4 wide receivers on the field. Corbin showing blitz here. Makes a couple adjustments. Now Corbin defense responds. They'll bring the blitz on 3rd down. People coming free. He throws it off his back foot, trying to find his running back. Incomplete. Good coverage out there in space. Mikey Neal, you don't see him dropping pass coverage too much down there on the deep seam, but he did a good job.
Yeah, he did a really good job. You're exactly right. A lot of times, you know, you can get that back or that tight end running the seam route, and a lot of times they'll, you know, kind of out-athlete or out-maneuver the Mike linebacker. But I'll tell you what, Mikey Neal doing a great job using that speed, using that coverage ability that he has to make the play. So brings up a big 4th down for the Pioneers right here.
42-17 deficit. Simon Kenton's going to go for it here. Handoff up the middle. Not going to get the 1st down, and Corbin defense will hold. Turnover on downs.
Yeah, good job right there by the Hounds defense. A little bit of a, you know, almost a funny play right there. You know, at 4th and 10, you think the Pioneers, you know, may try to throw the football, but still, again, on 4th and 10, content to run it right into the teeth of the Red Hound front 4. And the Hounds don't disappoint. The defense closes the door, turning the football back over to this Hounds high-powered offense.
7:32 remaining in the football game. Corbin up 42-17. Take over on their own 38-yard line comes. So I think we got Cade Elam in the football game, new quarterback, checking in for Corbin. Elam will pass it. Loads up and fires downfield. He's got Longmire open deep. He's going to be hauled in and caught at the 20. The 10 going to take it in for the touchdown. Travion Longmire, 2nd touchdown reception of the night for him.
My goodness, I mean, Cade Elam steps in first play. He's out on the football field. Kind of makes it look easy, really. Just launches the big touchdown pass towards the post office down the left side to Travion Longmire. And, you know, just doing a great job. Offensive line, great protection. Travion Longmire, of course, with that speed, gets great separation. And Cade Elam, the freshman quarterback, delivers the football for a touchdown, Hounds.
Baker on to add the extra point for the Red Hounds. Snap is down, kick is up and away. Baker took a shot there, no call. 7:21 remaining in the football game. Corbin extends their lead 49-17. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Red Hound Football on T107.
When you've been in business since 1954, you have to be doing something right. At Owens Auto Repair, they believe in honesty, service, and that hard work can still get you somewhere. Owens offers a complete line of truck and auto parts, as well as their custom-made hydraulic hoses, weather guard toolboxes, utility beds, and Sherwin-Williams auto paint. They also offer auto repair for cars, trucks, and RVs, and of course have top name brand tires. And they do towing and recovery. Owens Auto Repair, located just down from Corbin High School on Cumberland Falls Highway.
$7:21 remaining in the contest. Corbin up 49-17 on the back of a very long 62-yard touchdown strike to Travion Longmire. 100 yards on the night for Travion. 2 touchdowns through the air. So Corbin in a rout here. Got a little dicey here to start the second half. They were only up 21-17. They've blown the doors open on this one.
Oh, just blown the doors open right there. Reached almost the 50 points. So, 49-17 right there. You know, we saw the the Pioneers try to get back in the football game and kind of got in there a little bit within range. But I tell you what, the Hounds' offense and defense has just exploded in this fourth quarter.
Baker puts the toe to the kickoff. Going to be fielded at the 3. Up to the 10 behind his blockers, trying to find some wiggle room at the 20. Breaks a tackle at the 30. Extends out, loses the football as he lands to the ground, but safely able to recover it, and he's going to take over his unit 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line.
And Brandon Baker right there, number 23, doing a good job on special teams as well. You know, we talked about Brandon Baker a lot tonight, doing a good job in special teams and defensively. So Brandon Baker right there for the Hounds defense. Yeah, 7 minutes to go, 7 minutes, 12 seconds. Hounds up 49-17, fourth quarter. And looks like Hound starters still out there right now on defense.
1st and 10 for the Pioneers at their own 34-yard line. Pulls the handoff, read option play, trying to find some wiggle room, and does. Ball comes loose at the end of the play. We tacked down at the 37. Called down by contact there.
Yeah, I think so. Troy Faulkner in there with a hit, and again, we see number 54 Joe Brown kind of checking out, and number 53 Peyton Jordan checking in. All a part of that little rotation that the Hounds use up front. And Hunter Upchurch looks like, or actually Carter Severe in there at that left defensive end spot right now.
2nd and 7. Handoff now going to be pulled and throw a screen out in the flats. Got a little running room, slips a couple tackles, pounded down to the dirt. Right around the 42-yard line, sets up 3rd and 1.
Yeah, good job by the Hounds defense. Looks like an official timeout. Got another Red Hound down right here. Not sure about who it is. Looks like maybe cramps, though. So looks like maybe number 10, Seth Mills, I think, is down right there. But it looks like, they've got him kind of stretched him out into the cramps. So really good sign right there for the Hounds defense.
He's coming off the field under his own power. Baker going to check back in at safety. He's been playing some limited minutes, nursing that elbow injury.
Yeah, you look out there, Jacob Baker, got the pad on the elbow as well. And, me, Ronnie, bring it 3rd and 1 right here. Love how the Hounds defense as well, on the rocket screen right there, getting the ball out in space. They're always, you want to be fast, you want to get the football in a hurry, but they're always patient. The inside defenders, come at that good angle to kind of take away that cutback. And the Hounds defense did a good job right there.
3rd and inches, pistol set, handoff goes up the middle. He's got the first down. He's got more, slips the tackle. Nothing but green grass in front. He's going to walk it in for the touchdown.
Yeah, right there, Jaden Lawson. You see why he's a leading rusher for the Pioneers. Just hits it off the right side and of the Pioneer offense and takes it to the house. So, right up the middle, just kind of breaks. Hounds missed a couple tackles. And, the other side of the football, those Pioneers can play football too. And we've talked about, how many points they can put up on the board. And the Pioneers, again, put another touchdown up on the board for the offense. So brings that score right now 49-23. The Hounds in command right here.
Petty on to add the extra point for the Pioneers. Kick is up and away. It looks good from here, and it is. 6 minutes remaining in the football game. Hounds on top 49-24. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Red Hound Football on T107.
Our world has dramatically changed over the past couple of years. We've all had to adjust to these changing times. But one thing has not changed is the fact that the Hart family and Tri-County Cycle Sales is still serving southeastern Kentucky with the same quality products and service after the sale since 1968. Honda, Yamaha, Kawasaki, and Polaris are the biggest names in off-road adventure and still can be found at Tri-County Cycle Sales. For your next ATV or side-by-side, stop by the place where time has stood still. Tri-County Cycle Sales, located between Corbin and London on US 25 across from Kentucky Outdoorsman.
This is going to be a quick night for it.
It had the recipe of it.
Yeah.
Six minutes remaining in the contest. Corbin up 49-24 over the visiting Simon Kenton Pioneers here at homecoming. Ronnie Bowling with Jeff Barnett and Jenny Barnett in the T107 broadcast booth. Right now, just trying to grind the clock out. This is a long football game, folks.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of stretching out there. We saw the quick offense of the Pioneers there, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, and, the clock didn't move a whole lot. So you're right. This game kind of stretching out there. Hounds, fortunate to get the big lead, and 49-24 right here, 6 minutes to go. So look, maybe Coach Elam kind of take some of that clock down right here.
Hounds in the safe look, maybe expecting the onside kick, and it does come. Ball's in the air. Ball still on the ground. Looks like Corbin fell on it on the bottom of the pile. Doesn't mean that's who comes away with it at the bottom of the scrum.
There we go.
Corbin does recover the onside kick.
Yeah, exactly. A really good kick right there by the Pioneer Special Teams unit. But, Hounds got their hands team in, expecting the onside kick. And, thought for a second it might go the wrong way. But Hounds Special Teams, hands unit able to come up with a football. So, Hounds got the ball right around midfield right here. And looking to kind of grind away the last 5:57 left in this fourth quarter.
Hounds will take over 1st and 10 on their own 49-yard line. Cade Elam checks in at quarterback. Gregory's going to be his running back, resting to his right, or his left, excuse me, or is that Huff? I can't tell from here. He's going to pass on first down, takes the deep shot. He's got Longmire open, hauled in and caught at the 10, walks it in for the score. Hat trick for Longmire, walks it in for a touchdown, his third receiving touchdown on the night.
I mean, really, I gotta readjust here. So it's 2 throws for Elam, 2 touchdowns, to Travion Longmire. I mean, my goodness, just rear back and sling it, and Travion Longmire going to come up with a football. So great job by the Hounds offense to just go right for the jugular and attack the Simon Kenton Pioneers.
That's a QBR of 158.3, folks.
Yeah, 2 for 2, 2 touchdowns, 2 big plays. My goodness.
Baker on to add the extra point. Kick is up and away. 5:48 remaining in the game. Corbin extends their lead 56-24. We'll be back in 30. You're listening to Red Hound Football on T107.
The magical season of fall is here with cooler temperatures and shorter days, and that means 2 things: hunting season and it's football time in the Bluegrass. So before you plan your next hunting or fishing trip, stop by Southeastern Kentucky's #1 hunting and fishing headquarters, Kentucky Outdoorsman. It's national buying power with the same family-owned small-town customer service to which you've become accustomed. Get equipped for your next outdoor adventure at Kentucky Outdoorsman, located on U.S. Highway 25 between Corbin and London, next to Tri-County Cycle Sales.
5:48 remaining in the football game. Corbin up 56-24 over the Pioneers of Simon Kenton. Travion Longmire, you usually hear his stats defensively tonight. 4 catches, 194, and 3 touchdowns on the night, and that is paying for the sins of leaving Travion in single coverage.
Exactly. Single coverage, he'll make you pay the price every time.
Baker on to kick it away, boots it to the end zone where to be fielded, dead ball touchback. Pioneers take over 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line. 5:48 remaining in the football game. Corbin up big, 56-24. Really have not let off the gas since Pioneers cut it to 21-17.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally.
Yeah, my mistake right there. 6 minutes to go. I think, Hound's going to try to grind it out and grind this 4th quarter. But I tell you what, Cade Elam sitting in the gun, goes deep again, and 2 for 2 to Travion Longmire. So my goodness gracious, Hounds putting up points in a bunches right there. 56 points so far tonight.
That'll put some people on edge when they watch this film.
Exactly.
Pioneers operating out of the pistol set on 1st down. Handoff going across the left side, trying to find some running room. Will not do so. Going to be tackled down after picking up about a half a yard gain. Sets up 2nd and 9.
Yeah, good job right there. Looks like number 37, Zane Hammett, coming up, making a good spot, good tackle in space. We saw Hammett come in for the injured Bryson Batt, get some tackles, get a pick. Zane Hammett answering the bell tonight.
No huddle for the Pioneers. They're up to the line of scrimmage in the trip set. Read option, pulls it, throws out into the flats. Finally brought down to rest at the 24-yard line. Picks up about 3 yards on the pitch and catch. Now 3rd and 6 for this Pioneer offense.
Yeah, look like Brody Wells, Brandon Baker on the hip for the Hounds defense. Doing a great job in the rocket screen, coming up, making good tackles in space. Hounds great athletes on the edges, as well as that big front 4 defensive line.
Crone gets the call from the sideline on 3rd and 6. He's got trips on the field to the wide side of the field. That's his right. Fakes the handoff. Now actually he's going to give the handoff, trying to find some running room. Barton going to drag him down in space out there. Baker, excuse me. Brought to rest at the 31-yard line. Brings up 4th down, and imagine the Pioneers might kick this one away with 4.5 remaining in the game.
Yeah, I think so. May kick this one away. And you're right, Ronnie. Baker just using the hand, using the arm, just being really strong to bring Lawson down the running back right there, and kind of a one-on-one deal. And actually, Baker had a blocker on him, but just uses that really strong hand right there to make the tackle.
Petty on in punt formation. All players in tight, trying to defend against the block. Corbin hasn't gone after a kick tonight. Won't do so here. Low snap, digs it out. Shanks the kick. High end over end kick. Going to land and take a Corbin roll backwards. Going to be fielded, or not fielded, excuse me, killed at the Simon Kenton 41-yard line. Not a lot of flipping to the old field position here.
Yeah, exactly. Hounds have owned time of possession, field position. 3:58 right here. When there was 6 minutes on the clock, Ronnie, I started talking about how the Hounds offense, might try to grind out the last 6 minutes, and then, we see Cade Elam turn loose. So, dare I say he goes 3 for 3 right here after hitting 2 big passes to Travion Longmire.
1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. Elam in the shotgun. Handoff going to go to Huff across the left side. Safely steps out of bounds. See where they marked him down at. Looks like he's marked down right around the 38. So picks up just a couple yards on the carry. Now they're going to give him 4.
Yeah, good little gain right there. Seth Huff coming around the left side, getting behind the Red Hound offensive line. And, again, now we see the clock actually stepped out of bounds, so the clock actually stops right there, but brings up a 2nd and 5 right here with about 4 minutes to go in this football game.
Elam remains in the shotgun. Handoff again going to Huff across the left side. He's going to barrel into this defense. Finally brought to rest right around the 31-yard line. Picks up about 6 on the carry. It's up 3rd and inches.
Yeah, looks like maybe close to the first down. Actually, I think they're going to give him the first down.
Give him the first.
Yeah, I thought it was close, but, the officials.
Just glad they didn't measure.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. So, but officials moving the chains right here. 3:35 left in this football game. Hounds up big, 56-24 late in this fourth quarter.
New wide receiver checking into the football game, Dylan Stacy, subbing in for Longmire. Longmire's done. He's got 3 touchdowns.
That's
He's
right.
tired.
That's right.
Elam in the shotgun, tied in, resting to the left. Huff gets the call across the right side, gets behind a wall of Brockers at the 30, at the 25. Shackled down by a host of Pioneers right around the 18-yard line. Gain of about 11 or 12 on the carry. That's enough to move the sticks. First down, Red Hounds.
Yeah, exactly. Huff had 148 yards and 2 touchdowns at halftime. And I hadn't got the official total yet, but I'm sure, just racking up the yards. The Hounds have thrown the ball well. Looks like we just got the count. Seth Huff at 195 yards rushing tonight so far in this football game.
Big offensive numbers out of this Corbin unit to conclude the game. Elam in the gun on 1st and 10. Huff gets the call across the right side again. Taking Pioneers with him down to the 15-yard line. Picks up a gain of 3 on the first down run.
Yeah, just really good job again. Seth Huff, again, taking the football, right at about 198, I think, so closing in on a 200-yard rushing night just for Seth Huff. And then, we saw Seth Mills with the big run as well. So, the Hounds offensively has just really took it to the Pioneers of Simon Kenton.
Ethan Gregory checks in at running back. Huff may be done for the night as well as clock grinds down to 2 minutes. Gregory gets the call, gets behind his blockers, surges ahead down to the 8-yard line. Very close to first down yardage again.
Yeah, really good run right there by Gregory. Just taking the football from Cade Elam, the freshman quarterback, and get behind the big offensive line 3 and 4 yards at a time. And, clock kicking down inside 2 minutes. So Hounds, continue to press the issue, press the offense, and trying to put some more points on the board right here.
3rd and inches is a minute and a half remaining in the football game. Elam in the shotgun. Handoff's going to go to Gregory across the left side, puts his foot in the dirt, runs through a couple tackles, trying to get in the end zone inside the 5. That's enough for the first down. 1st and goal inside the Pioneer 5-yard line. Probably will see Corbin fall on it and end the game here.
Yeah, probably just in the best formation of all, the victory formation. And looks like a timeout. Maybe the Hounds got somebody. Actually, Simon Kenton got somebody down right there.
Shaking up Pioneer on the play down around the goal line. Again, minute 25 remaining in the game. Corbin up 56-24. They'll improve to 6-0 on the season. Next week, tread up to Barberville to start district play, taking on the Panthers of Knox Central. That kickoff slated for 7:30. It'll be on your radio dial on 107 and streaming on T1073.com. Audio only at that game. Will not be video, but T1073.com and 107.3 on your radio dial to catch the Red Hounds next week. 7:30 Corbin at Knox Central. Hoping to move on to 7-0, 1-0 in district play. Win tonight will definitely bump Corbin up in the RPI. They fell 2 spots down to the 3rd spot. Kind of puzzling on that. But, Corbin did have the bye week. The other teams that were figured in had one more win. So
That's
I
right.
think
That's right.
that's kind of your calculus there. At the end of the season, Corbin in control of their own destiny if they go 10-0, which is very doable, very possible to do. If they're to do that, you can't help but imagine Corbin isn't comfortably sitting at that 1 or 2 spot going into the playoffs.
Yeah, you just about have to put the Hounds up there. I mean, what else can you do? Like you said, Hounds probably, if things work out the way, the Hounds are playing football right now, could easily be 10-0 at the end of the football season, moving into playoffs. So, yeah, definitely going to be hopefully the 1 or 2 seed moving in towards, making that run towards Kroger Field.
It's mathematical, too. I mean, Lexington Catholic and Boyle County, that's who's ahead of Corbin right now in the RPI. They do play each other. They've already played. Boyle County did beat Lexington Catholic already. Looking at the body of work at the end of the season, of course, the win tonight over a 6A program like Simon Kenton, that's why they're playing them for the RPI.
That's right.
We'll put that one ahead in the polls. And then again, going to close out the season on the road at Campbell County, another 6A team in Northern Kentucky.
Yes.
If Corbin runs the table, can't help but think they're not a top seed.
No, I think so. It just have to be. We saw the Hounds last year, kind of get turned around a little bit in the playoff seedings, and had to go on the road a little bit. But you're right, Ronnie. Nothing would be better than to have the playoffs run right here through Campbell Field.
Victory formation for the Hounds. Elam takes a knee down close to the goal line. Need to snap it. Don't need to snap it one more time. The officials luckily do the right thing and don't spot the ball.
Yeah, exactly.
Until the 42nd play clock. So that's your football game. Corbin gonna prevail here at home on homecoming. They're gonna beat Simon Kenton to the tune of 56-24. Some gaudy offensive statistics tonight for the Red Hounds. Of course, Cade Elam has two for 2 for 2 touchdowns, over 100 yards. Travion Longmire, 194 yards through the air tonight, receiving 3 touchdowns. Seth Huff has 198 on the ground, 3 touchdowns as well. Seth Mills has one from 70 yards out. 3 turnovers forced by the defense. All in all, just another great performance from the team in red to move to 6-0 on the season.
Yeah, exactly. The Hounds got a little bit of a test in that second quarter, but I tell you what, just like you said, Ronnie, the Hounds offense firing on all cylinders, Hounds defense, 3 turnovers, and then finally, kind of answering the bell, shutting down Crone, the quarterback for Simon Kenton. And then, you spoke about it. You talk about the hat trick for Travion Longmire, Seth Huff pounding the football, Seth Mills doing a great job as well running the football. And again, to me, it all starts with that offensive line, that defensive line, and then special teams. I'll tell you what, just the Hounds football team, is really, really rolling right now, and moving towards district play next week against Knox Central.
There you have it, folks. Corbin, final score: Red Hounds 56, Simon Kenton 24. 6-0 on the football season. Next week, Hounds will be on the road taking on the Panthers of Knox Central up in Barberville. Will be your kickoff slated for 7:30. We'll be on your radio dial to bring you all the action tonight. Again, thanks, JB, for all the color commentary. Thank you, Jenny, for all the statistics. Thanks for everybody back at the station.
Right.
I'm Ronnie Bowling. This has been Red Hound Football on T107.